back corner when I'm not presenting.
Listening in.
And listen in.
Hey everybody, welcome to Bass University Live here on Tuesday night.
Take a quick break, watch John Cruz's on the Tokyo rig.
Be a part of the show, get some chances to win some awesome prizes.
This Bass you go. You know, we didn't have that back then, and dude, it can just...
That text thread gives me so much energy. I mean, like I'm dialed.
In the back corner when I'm not presenting.
Everybody, welcome to Bass University Live. We're so excited to be here with you. We're in between the holidays. We hope you had a very Merry Christmas, and hope you enjoyed the holidays with you and yours, and you got all your presents that you wanted, your favorite rod, reel, lures. Hope you got all that stuff under the tree, and you had a blast. And we're glad you're here with us because it's been a wonderful year at Bass University, and we appreciate all of you guys being part of the program. Whether you're watching us over at Bass.TV, where we hope you are, or over on social media, Facebook, YouTube, we love having you guys with us, and we've had a great year. It's so many amazing speakers, the best anglers in the world, teaching us lessons that are truly revolutionary in some regards, and in others just so simplistic that we can't believe we missed it. But it's so awesome. What a great year. We're going to review it. We're going to recap everything, the best of the best, the most viewed, the things that you guys like the most, and it's going to be a great night. So that's going to be the first part of our show. Then we're going to get into something that's really polarizing: anglers' rights, anglers' access to bodies of water. We're getting blocked in a lot of parts of the country. Maybe you are dealing with this in your part of the country. If you are, let us know on the IM board. Let us know if you're having trouble getting, not allowed to launch your boats, getting cut out of places, not allowed to access certain areas, having, from ponds to not being able to fish around docks or piers or these types of problems. We're going to be talking about that tonight. And we've got a tremendous panel on board, including our own eco bass angler, Craig Duran's going to be with us, as well as Gene Gilliland from Bassmasters is going to be with us tonight. We're going to be tackling some of these issues around the country and our part of the country as well. We've got some hot button items going on right now. So let us know if you're dealing with these kinds of things, and hang in there with us, because we're going to be talking to those guys and airing out the problems and some solutions, some things that we can do to make it better for all of us as anglers. So it's going to be a great show. But we're going to kick off with the year in review. Love this show because we have our own professional fish head who does an amazing job putting together a top 10 list for us, breaking it down, looking at the stats, seeing who watches what, and booking a lot of these speakers. So it's good to have you with us tonight, JK.
Oh man, the countdown. This is one that I look forward to. You know me, I love a good list. Sometimes our lists are opinionated. Tonight, it's all about what our subscribers and the Bass U following loved the most in the year of 2021, and we get to look back and see what it was, and talk, kind of just celebrate, our most favorite seminars and on-water videos and interviews and stuff of the year. And I'm going to say one thing as a prelude. you just would never guess what bait. I mean, the bait of the year was for our Bass U crowd. And once we get to the final end, everybody will know what that was, and they'll see the theme. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. And it's going to cause me to pick it up and throw it more, this next year. So
the bait of the year, I'm intrigued.
Bait of the year is going to shine through. It'll be very loudly celebrated. So cannot wait to dive into that tonight, Pete. This is what I live for, the stats, the content, all the different things. And if you want to know like how I think, just go to our categories page at Bass U TV. It's like how I think about bass fishing, right? I can't take all the credit for that categories page. But that's like influenced how I break down, like even down to when I'm rigging for a tournament. All right, do I got all my categories covered? So I love it. I love that we have that. And I cannot wait to dive into it tonight.
Well, it's been a star-studded year again at Bass U, and really some innovative stuff. And I look forward to your list because I'm also going to let you in on my picks. The Dean's picks at the end. I'm interested to see how they marry together, and how the viewers versus what I thought was really powerful this year will come into play. But it's going to be great. Can't wait to get into it. And I see BTC and Riz getting us up and running. Great to have you guys in studio. I know I can't be there. I got a little man with a fever, so I am zooming in tonight. Wish I could be there with you guys, but good to have you with us.
It's great to be here, Pete.
Yeah, great to be here. This is always a fun show because until Justin actually airs it out and reveals the list, none of us really know it, and we're all kind of so heavily involved with what goes on and goes onto the website and all. It's kind of fun to, like, when you hear some of these seminars come out, you're like, no way, really, that one? I can't believe this one didn't make it, because everybody watches different stuff. But this is a fun one, and as always, guys, there's going to be some giveaways going on tonight during the show. We got a mega bait going out the door today. Our guy Keith from Black Talon Custom Lures has given us a donk.
That's the wrong one, Ron.
Well,
that's
okay.
a 12-inch Ron.
Brian's got the right Ron.
Oh.
That's the donk swim bait right there, guys. And if you don't know much about Black Talon Custom Lures, Keith Thomas is local to the area from Pennsylvania. His glide baits are absolutely incredible. But the amazing part about what we're doing tonight is that we have one to give away because they are extremely sought after. They're hard to get your hands on.
Really hard.
Yep. If you've ever wanted a donk glide bait, tonight could be your chance. It's a great time to get signed up for Bass U TV. 60 days for free right now if you want to try out the program, or you can take advantage of our current annual promotion.
Did you say free?
Yeah, 60 days for free.
So you can sign up for free?
Sign up for free.
And you get a chance to win this?
And you get a chance to
and
win the glide bait.
And it don't cost you anything?
Listen to me. Look at me
crazy.
in my eyes. It is free for 60 days, all right? If you're a fisherman and you're a bass angler and you've ever picked up a rod and you want to catch more fish, get signed up for Bass U TV, man. Stop wasting time. This is going to take your game to the next level. And also right now, if you wanted to just join annually, commit to us for the full year and really better yourself as an angler for $119.99, when you get signed up annually, you get a Bass U hat and a Bass U official face shield. So two great deals going on right now. All the more reason to get signed up for BU TV. Also, during tonight's show, we're going to be giving away 2 Gills Gear gift cards, which we'll be giving out to Bass U TV subscribers.
That's right.
For some questions we bring in, and a Facebook like and share towards the end of the show. It's a $50 prize back from all of our amazing sponsors here at Bass University.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you, Riz. Thank you, guys. And thank all you guys for watching. And it's a great time. We say this all the time: new year, new you. You hear it in all parts of life, but if you're a bass angler, this is the time. You want to learn a new technique. You want to sharpen your skills on a weakness. develop a strength, this is the place right here. And we work hard and we built this to be able to deliver that to you, 24/7. We've got releases every week. If you've not ever been part of Bass U TV, just like Riz said, go try it for 60 days. If you know about us, get signed up for the annual subscription. It's the best deal going on right now. So we're going to take a quick break here, BTC, or do we want to jump right into the list? You tell me.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take that break there, Peter.
Yeah, let's give people time to sign up and join the program with us, man.
It's for free, even.
Yeah, for free.
And they could win that bait.
For free. We're not talking about practice. We're talking about for free.
I mean, if you didn't, are you really a fisherman?
Right.
Can I please have a chance to win that bait tonight? I never get to win.
I know.
I've been after that bait, man.
I know. I got you on the list, JK. But
I appreciate it.
they're hard to come by.
Everybody's catching them on that thing. Aaron Lewis.
Yep. Ben Milliken. Vegas.
Yep.
Yeah, Vegas the Hammer. Everybody.
And
you can win one tonight.
I want to take a stab because I don't know. You talked about the bait of the year.
Nope.
Is it the glide? Could that be the bait of the year? I don't know.
We'll have to
I don't
wait
know.
and see.
We'll find out.
And on that,
We will find out.
Not the goods yet.
Yep, we'll find out very shortly. We're coming back with the list, the best videos of the year for Bass U TV. We'll be right back after this.
Aquaview, the leader in underwater viewing technology. Find what you are looking for. Catch more fish. Have more fun. Aquaview. Seeing is believing.
Why do you love casting fishing rods?
I'm truly losing less fish.
Is the sensitivity of the rod.
That they're made right here in North Carolina in the USA.
Strongest, lightest rod, 100% made here in Sanford, North Carolina.
From the drop shot rod to the flipping stick, every rod has a purpose to it, and I rely on them all the time when I'm out there in a tournament.
Durability in the John Cruz Worming series, the counterbalancing in the handle.
It's the only rod I found that can withstand my hook set. Boom goes the dynamite.
We're different. Some would say obsessed. There's no place on earth we'd rather be than right here, right now. Performance-driven gear, so you can fish longer, harder. Gill's Performance Fishing.
Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to Bass University Live. I got all kinds of hand signals going on over there, but it's always fun, to be zooming in, and it's great to be here with you guys tonight. What a cool show! Love this show. Love a chance to go back and revisit and think about all the great stuff, because this year was a really interesting year, JK, because we, due to COVID, we had to really change how Bass University operated. And we just love seeing people in the classroom, and we missed that so much in the past season. But it was so awesome that we were able to make that a pivot and bring the classes to the masses and get everybody to come in and Zoom with us. It was a great year because we figured out how to do it.
Yeah, we really did, and we kind of had to do it on the fly, and you do what we do here at Bass U. We kept what was most important first, and that was get good content to our guys. That's what we're committed to here at Bass U TV, working with the best in the fishing world and getting what the viewers want, and continuing to, educate everybody on what they want to be educated on. And I think we had judging by the numbers, I think we hit a home run this year. I'd like to pat us all on the back. I cannot wait. We've already started work on our 2022 Bass U TV content. And man, I cannot wait for you guys to see some of the stuff that we already did on our virtual seminars. If you missed out on those, And then we've got some great things lined up both in the classroom and on the water in 2022. So excited.
Yeah, we have some new speakers. We always do. You know, we try to stay ahead of the curve on the guys that are making headway and developing, you know, some cutting edge stuff. And we had that last year. We're going to have it again this year. And I just want to give a shout out to some of the guys. We got Matt G, coaches with us, Wild Bill. I see guys weighing in, Wawa Hoagie Lady, guys talking about bodies of water that they're having some issues with. Matt G, I see you there again. Let us know, guys. We're going to be diving into anglers' rights, our right to be able to fish, to gain access to the bodies of water that we want to get out and fish and have tournaments on and do what we love to do. So that's going to be a really big part of our show, and we're going to be taking that on here shortly. But right now, JK, I guess without further ado, I know you've been working with Riz, with BTC. You've got some fireworks ready for us, some clips, and I'm gonna send it to you. Let's take us down the best of the best of Bass University this year.
Man, what a year it was. This is one of my favorite things I get to do every year, is to come up and look at what you guys, our subscribers and our Bass U followers, love the most. You know, we're sniffing almost 1,000 training videos on Bass U TV. We'll surpass that. We're pushing out more content as far as strictly educational content. We're pushing out more and better than anybody in the game here at Bass U. And I love being a part of it. You know, it's something we're constantly committed to, you know. And guys, we of course just always invite you to bring your feedback. You brought it last year. You brought it the year before. We love hearing from you. We love when we get to, I got like 3 or 4 personal texts and emails this year saying, you really did it. You know, you really hired this guy, did my seminar, you know, and that's really cool, because it's not just for him. It might've been for 20 people that asked for it, but you know, I'm always trying to keep the voice of our subscriber heard. And it's fun when you get to, when all the stars align and you get to do that. So without further ado, here's what I'm going to do. There's so many different types of content we do. We do interviews, we do on-water training videos, we do seminars. So I'm gonna go ahead and announce the single most popular interview of the year. You got any guesses?
Well, I mean, I got to take the low-hanging fruit, and I don't know if it's it, but it's got to be Swindle, right?
Man, you would think so, but
Yep.
Swindle's interview, although very popular with our people always, was not the winner.
I can't imagine.
Who does smallmouth love?
Smallmouth. Well, Gussie.
Well, Taku loves smallmouth, and smallmouth loves Taku. Taku with his Japanese bass fishing secrets, and I got to sit in on that interview with you. Man, that was a fun interview, and gosh, he's got such a different way of thinking and fishing for bass. It's unreal.
Yeah, you got to go listen to it. It is so interesting, and his emphasis on scents and marinating. He had Bass University subscribers marinating all types. They were throwing Senkos in bins. They were doing science projects in their garages, trying to figure out how to titrate the oils and the scents and to get them right. And that was great. It was really fun, and I loved talking to him. I mean, he's so full of positive energy. I love being around that guy, and that's amazing that he's the #1 this year, man. That was a fun interview.
He was the most popular one by a pretty good clip, and it's fun to see him, you know, take the fishing world by storm. And Pete, you're right. He's got everybody thinking about scent. Scent's a big topic now, and it's not just the Bass U subscribers. Pete. I mean, we got some of the best pros in bass fishing. I don't mean to rat them out, but Patrick Walters, if you're watching, I'm just going to go ahead and rip you out right here. The guy's got drums, and he's probably he said he might have thousands of dollars worth of soft plastics. If it's a failed science project, they're going to go to the waste, you know. But he's got drums of soft plastics soaking in these weird scents right now. But who knows? Maybe it'll pay off for those smallmouth. I'm just going to stick to Berkeley Maxent though.
It's something, you know what, one of the interesting things that was that I noticed in talking to him and looking at some of the baits and watching him win those tournaments is that how the marinade deteriorated the colors of the baits, right? So it made them opaque. It made them so that they didn't pop. Did that make them more natural? Was that a key? Or was it that the scent was just so much more important than the color was?
Wow. That's a great topic of conversation, Pete, because it's always action and color. You know, we'll hear it tonight in certain things like action and color. What's more important? You know, and a lot of guys say action. Some people say it depends on the watercolor. And then now you have Taku basically could care less about the color or what the scent does to the color. He just wants that thing to have a ferocious scent. So maybe with smallmouth, who knows? Maybe there's something there, Pete.
Who knows? Well, congratulations. You know, smallmouth love Taco, and the Bass University viewers love Taco too. So
that's right.
That's awesome. Congratulations. By the way, I put a link to that interview on the IM board, guys. So go check it out when you get a chance.
Yeah.
Well done,
nice.
Peter.
Thanks for doing that, Pete. I hope we can do that the rest of the show. And let's move on.
Pete, I'll be looking for that kind of activity from you from here on out. Anytime there's a link. All right.
Anytime. I think I can even do it in studio, BTC. I just got to get dialed into the Wi-Fi over there.
Just got to get to the studio.
Yes.
JK, one question before you go to item number 2.
Sure.
Your left shoulder.
What happened?
What? That's an odd placement for an outlet. What do we got going on there? TV?
That's going to be a television.
Okay. All right.
So that I can have Bass U TV playing at all times.
Okay.
Because
there you go.
I mean, I have to like watch whatever videos I got to have to watch for work, but my wife, this was the comment of Christmas, right? We're off. It's the holiday. We're driving out Christmas Day to go see my parents. And she's like trying to talk to me, you know? And I can't hear her. She's starting to get frustrated. Then she finally slaps me on the shoulder, like, what's going on? I was like, and I took my headphones. Of course, she never could tell if I was listening to something. Took them off. I said, hey, if you're gonna need to talk to me, you need to press pause on my phone right there. And she goes, are you serious? Like you get a few days off here and you got to have Bass U TV turned on? I'm like, sorry. It's what I've got things going on in my brain, and I need to.
So is this the new tackle room?
Huh?
Is this the new tackle room, the war room?
This is my office.
Okay.
So this is where I work.
Well, that was stressing me out, Justin. I thought I thought the cursor was left, the mouse cursor was left on the screen. I was trying to.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's
it's in progress, guys. Hopefully, here pretty soon we get to.
All right.
We get things up to BTC standards. So appreciate it, buddy.
You got it.
But yeah, I'm watching Bass U TV on my time off, and thankfully that app lets me do it wonderfully on my drives.
Yep. Go download that app, guys. It's free. It's free where you get your apps. Go download you guys are new to Bass U TV. You might not know we have an app, but it makes it really easy and fun to watch on your mobile device and your phone and stuff. So
but that's all.
Great deal. We got a best interview of the year. What's next on the list, JK?
I want to go tackle the on water videos. That's something that we've been doing for years and years as well, since Bass U TV began, and it's a popular, style of training. We have a unique style to make sure that we cover all the details, and we're doing it on the water. So we get to really demonstrate, certain techniques. It's a fun way of teaching, getting these guys on the water. So we have kind of a category of our on-water videos, and I'm going to unveil your top 5 on-water training videos of the year. Coming in at number 5, we have Bobby Lane and Bladed Jig Trailers. Bladed Jig Trailers. It's funny, this was a subscriber request on multiple accounts. It's something that comes up in our Q&As a lot. How do you know what style bladed jig trailer, what to put on the back of my chatterbait? We've seen trends in tournament bass fishing, Pete, right? We've seen the little speed crawl type stuff, right? We've seen little swim baits come into play. And then the kind of the straight tail, tight vibration has taken storm, the Zaco, the Razor thing, the Razor Shatter, whatever for Z-Man, a Fluke is a popular one. There's all these different options now. And guys, if you struggle or you want to expand your game on kind of a way of thinking to apply what, trailer to put on your chatterbait or your vibrating jig, this seminar's for you. And for your entertainment, I'm pretty sure Bobby Lane makes a little bit of a change and pops like a 4 or 5 pounder. So the proof was in the pudding, that one, and it was a fun shoot to be on down there in Florida with Bobby.
Love Bobby Lane. Our people all love him. He is the salt of the earth. He speaks straight at you, and it makes sense. I love listening to him. So congrats, Mr. Lane, on number 5.
Yeah. So number 4, we're talking about chatterbaits again. We're not talking about how to pick the trailers. Mr. Brian Thrift, talking about 3 different ways he fishes his chatterbait. This one's more about presentation. It's about, when he likes to throw it on the bottom and kind of works it, like a worm almost. And then, always talking about contact with cover. And, it's so funny because if you watch him fish in the 3 different ways, you'd almost think he's fishing a different lure every time. So it's a really good seminar. And of course, we know Brian Thrift helped put the chatterbait on the map. So he was a great guy to have do this seminar. That was also one of my favorite shoots to be on. I think I was on that shoot with our pal Nate in North Carolina. Nate? Yep, that was a good one.
Shout out to Nate. We love Nate from Northern Lights, and Mr. Thrift with the zip.
With the zip, that's right.
And he's always at the top. Brian, obviously, he's one of the best anglers in the world, but he's also one of the best speakers. Does an amazing. He's given us such great content. And I wonder if this one's going to be on there, because in that shoot, I'll never forget the blade bait piece where every single cast he was bringing a fish in. Was that on that same shoot?
On that same shoot, right after that chatterbait piece was shot.
Okay.
Brian wanted to take a little bit of a mental break for 5 or 10 minutes, and he was making fun of me because I grabbed his square bill crankbait and I couldn't catch him, and he had caught like 6 on him in that seminar. And there's all these tiny bait, and the fish are chasing them, and just feeding like crazy. And of course, Brian's just making fun of me, and then he kind of gets done with his break, and he says, "Kimmel, let me show you something." And I am so glad that he did this, because if he never did, I probably wouldn't have won the All-American, because I caught some key fish on that stupid little blade bait. But he got out and he probably caught 30 on 30 casts before I decided, hey, we got 45 minutes of daylight left. Let's see if we can, you know, get a new seminar done. So we put him right to work and got it in the can for you guys. And it's a really that's a great seminar as well. Probably one of my personal favorites for fishing around really tiny bait fish in the fall and stuff. So, but yeah, we'll see if it reappears. Moving on to number 3, we have our boy Lee Livesey with the new Mega Live seminar on the water.
No kidding.
Yep, that was number 3. Pete, you were on that one, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was mind blowing. The Mega Live we were shooting, and you guys know the bridges we were shooting down on the Chesapeake, and it was really cool watching Lee track the fish around and watching them hide behind the bridge pilings and just showcasing the Mega Live and watching those fish swim around. Pete. It was mega cool. So gotta go check that one out, guys. And it's the year of Livesey, right? Livesey,
yeah.
You know, busted on the scene, had a great year, and you know, we had him at Bass University, and another man, just I love the way he talks about fishing. I love you know, he thinks about things in such simplistic terms, but does some tremendous things, you know, outside of the box. But just, you know, love listening to him talk about fishing. He's a great seminar speaker. I think he's on his way to being one of our best.
Right on. And I believe he just signed another beer sponsor. I think he's
Did he really?
Yeah. Might even have multiples. Who knows?
Yep.
Yes. Because that's how
right. So number 2, we have a topwater seminar on the water. Topwater, you know, stick baits, topwater stick baits, walking baits, and poppers by none other than KVD, Kevin Van Dam. Another shoot you were on, Pete. This one's more smallmouth. Was this a smallmouth related one?
It was. We were on smallmouth water, but you know, as he talks about it, it's multi-species. You know, and we were up in a really we filmed in a part of Michigan that is just phenomenal. And there's all these ponds and lakes that are not connected with the big water out there, you know, Lake Michigan and Lake Huron, and you know, we were able to get around and work with Kevin. I mean, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time, and you know, offers his approach to how to adjust back and forth between those two baits, which is always a question that you have when you're topwater fishing. You know, are you going to be walk the dog, or are you going to be using a popper style bait? But Kevin, wow, Kevin came in. It's no surprise. Everything he does for us comes out at the top of the list. KVD.
Number 2, just shy of our number 1 top, you know, on water video on Bass U TV for 2021. We see Mr. Brian Thrift again with the Buzzbait horny toad combination. Fishing, you know, he calls it his buzz frog. This seminar is all about, you know, a skirtless buzzbait with the horny toad. You know, Brian loves to skip any bait. So obviously this thing skips really well. He's talking about it through, you know, how he uses it in a lot of different seasons, when he wants to slow down, when he wants to speed up. And he gives a few tips on color and modification that you might just want to go watch. So if you haven't watched this one, I mean, it's our top on water video of the year. So you're already behind because there's thousands of people ahead of you that have already viewed it. So congratulations, Mr. Thrift. We can't wait to see you in the classroom in a few weeks in Gadsden, Alabama for some just, you know, more awesome seminar topics that he's going to bring to the table. Cannot wait.
I cannot wait either. And guys, there's tickets available over at thebassuniversity.com. Go check it out. You want to come to the classroom? We've been virtual what seems like forever. We're back in the classroom. We're going to be in Gadsden, Alabama in just a couple weeks, and we'll follow up in Anderson, South Carolina the next weekend. So if you're close to any of those areas, doesn't matter. People flying from Japan to attend Bass University. So come and check it out. Tickets are on sale right now at thebassuniversity.com. And congrats, Mr. Thrift, on what I mean. Come on, does he get the win at everything?
Well, you know, I think he's actually come in second a few times in these kinds of lists. So, you know, congratulations on closing one out this year, Brian.
No doubt. And I just want to, man, we lost. I saw it show up on the IM board. We lost John Madden. Of the NFL, you know, former Raiders head coach and probably the best MC right behind Bill Dakota of all time. Just a tremendous personality, and we lost him at the age of 85. That just came across the news feed. So thoughts and prayers out to John Madden's family.
One of the greats, man. One of the greats. He didn't fly on planes either.
Right?
Took a bus everywhere.
I share that with him. Yeah. I want to take a bus everywhere too. I can't stand getting on those birds.
Yeah. Yep. Always ate turduckens.
Yeah. Turducken.
Yeah, turduckens.
Here's a guy.
Yeah.
What's a turducken?
Oh, a turducken. It's a turkey. It's a turkey duck. It's a combination of both. I'd imagine Brett Favre would have enjoyed them as well. If you had 11 Brett Favres.
Dick Marsenko passed away too.
We'll miss you, John. I don't know if they're going to have to rename the video game or what, but one of the greats, man. Paved the way for broadcasters all over the globe. So
really did. I mean, when he was calling the game, you were into it, no matter who was playing or whether it even mattered. I mean, he was just great. He was ahead of his time in that realm for sure. So thanks for letting us know, guys. Appreciate it.
He's the author of one of my favorite ever quotes during the game back in the Randall Cunningham days, Pete. And I forget I don't remember who they were playing, but Madden said, "Just chuck it, dog." Talking about Randall Cunningham. Just chuck it, dog. That's
awesome.
That's better than he did too. Scrambling Randall.
Scrambling Randall. Well, man, he's going to be missed, and just one of the greatest of all time, no doubt about it. But Brian Thrift is one of the greatest. He's won again, he's won first place in this arena for us. And I think we're gonna tear into our big list now, JK, of our seminars.
Yep. This is our favorite and your favorite subscribers. You let us know that's for sure. This is our favorite content piece still to this day. This is our MO, the in-classroom type seminar. Golly, when I made this list, there were some that I couldn't believe were not on there, but it just goes to show how many good ones we got this year. I was really impressed with the data overall. Just so many more views than normal. So many videos that I was, taking the data and putting it down and thinking, man, that might be a top 5. And then at the end of the day, it didn't even make the top 10 list. And some of my favorite that you got to hear last week as we gifted them to the guys, some of them did not make the list, and it kind of surprised me. But the proof's in the data, and now we present to you your top 10. So let's dive in. Number 10, coming in at number 10, his first time as an instructor at Bass UTV, Mr. Stetson Blaylock.
What?
With his best seasonal baits for clear water. Stetson walks us through all the seasons. He broke it down into just 4 seasons. And I won't give you guys all the techniques, but I'll touch on on a few for you real quick. But remember, when we're saying clear water, Stetson's from Arkansas. Stetson's going to define clear water differently than Pete, than I will define clear water. We're talking like 6 feet, 8 feet of clarity or cleaner. So all you guys who fish really clear water, you know, it's relative. So I think this seminar can help anybody who's got just kind of semi-clean water. But, you know, he talks about football jigs. That was kind of one of his winter techniques that he really touched on, and talked about some of the trailers that really shine in that clean water. And, you know, his reasonings for doing so might, or how he picks him might really surprise you. So you're going to have to watch it to get the real goods there. A Wacky Rig in the springtime is one of his home run techniques. This one, in the, you know, summertime technique that kind of caught me off guard was a big worm, a 10-inch worm made the list of techniques for clean, clear water. Kind of caught me off guard because I'll throw that thing in no visibility down here in the South. And it's a big deal, especially in that Ozarks region. So, and then another one that really caught me off guard, because I never do this in really clear water, is a spinnerbait. And he, you know, is obviously throwing different colors, different blade combinations and stuff. And he gives all that up in the seminar. But he talked about spinnerbaits in the fall in clear water, and talks about which ones he uses and the speed and the retrieves to really capitalize on those bites. And some of the colors might surprise you. Yeah, man, just that, I barely touched on it, but man, it was a great seminar. So congratulations, Mr. Stetson Blaylock, for making our top 10 for the 2021 season.
Thanks for being part of Bass U. He was a great asset. Love to have him. Love to have him in the room. Who do we have for number 9?
Number 9, classic champ, reigning classic champ, Hank Cherry, fishing a swim jig all year. One thing that he does is he shares that he's got a specific type of docks that he targets year round. And he also talks about how he loves fishing a swim jig behind people. He's not afraid to fish a swim jig behind people throughout the year. So yep, there we go. Mr. Hank Cherry, swim jigs all year, coming in at number 9.
He's on my list, but not for that. Not for that one.
How about that? All right. Number 8, Greg Hackney flipping bushes. Gosh, we've if you're a spectator of the sport, you've watched Greg win tournaments. Like if Greg Hackney's on a bush bite and he's flipping a big old 1 ounce, 3/4 ounce jig in those bushes, you know a W might come along with it. And I'm so excited we got the seminar. He walks through the pre-spawn, the spawn, the post-spawn, and the summer, talks about how the differences are in each. You know, he was asked, do you fish them in the fall and winter? And he said no. He'll tell you why. And there's some interesting tips that he gave for the shad spawn in bushes. So great seminar. Make sure you watch it. It's not been out too long. It's just a few months. So that was kind of one of our late season releases. Greg Hackney flipping bushes.
Yeah, and that means a lot, guys, because when they're released late in the season and you're still making the top 10 list, that means it got a massive amount of views. So, yeah, a lot of juice in there. If we waited until next year, he might be higher on the list. But because he was released so late, that's how it goes down. But Hackney's one of the best, man. Great. Would he come in at number 7?
8. Number 8.
Number 8. Okay.
Number 8. And speaking of number 7, we're going to go right to it. Patrick Walters, forward-facing sonar and 360 imaging. You know, this is one of the ones we were really pumped up. You know, coming out of it, we were wanting this seminar, especially after what Patrick did at Fork last year, and the run he went on. You know, he won at Hartwell that year before as well. And, you know, Patrick was hot with that forward-facing sonar and 360 imaging. one of the things he does is he runs that 360 and his forward facing units constantly, even when he's shallow. You know, a lot of guys don't like him. He's got them on nonstop. He talks about that. He's got a crazy electronics setup. And one of the things that he's going to talk about in the seminar are his best baits for forward-facing video game fishing, or what some of us refer to as sniper fishing. So there you go, guys. You need to check that one out if you haven't. It was one of the most popular. Number 7, Patrick Walters, and forward-facing at 360 imaging.
Shout out to Humminbird 360. It's revolutionized my fishing. That's for sure. And we love Patrick too. And he's going to be your partner next year. Oh my goodness, JK.
Well, travel partner. We don't get to jump in the boat with each other. Although, you know, I guess technically it's not against the rules to jump in the boat with each other. He can jump in with me though anytime. So number 6.
Might have short shorts you got on there, boy.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to jump in his boat. Moving on, number 6 is Buddy Gross. Get your swim bait PhD, folks. This is a different swim bait seminar. You know, he's going to give up his secret on his money-making swim bait hook and all the ways he uses those big, soft plastic, you know, swim baits. He geeks out crazy in this one, guys. Talking about hook diameter. He's got spotted bass tricks that are really solid. And there's one thing that I'll always remember, and I'm not going to give you the good goods, but it's about how to count down your lure and make yourself really effective with those really big swim baits. So get your swim bait PhD with Buddy Gross at number 6 for 2021.
Love us some Buddy Gross. He's amazing with those tools. Learned them on the Tennessee River, on the bank, on the Chickamauga, working the ledges out there. I see the thumbnail with him. I remember him talking about fishing that exposed hook on the belly weighted swim bait and how important that was to your strike to catch ratio for him. Yep. So many tips.
Yep. Huge. All right. Now we have 5. We've gone with the first 5. Now we have our top 5 left. I'm surprised only one of these has made your list so far, Pete. Maybe we'll get to some more here.
Yep.
And I'd be surprised if this one didn't. At number 5, I immediately think of Pete Glusek with this one, but it's Wesley Strader powered down with soft plastic stick baits. And what he means by powered down, this is a power finesse fishing class. This is bait caster, 15 to 20 pound line flipping, but doing it how he does it with a Cinco or a Slinky or whatever it is, the soft plastic stick bait category. You know, this is his power finesse class. It's right up your alley, Pete. You know, he's going to talk to you about one really solid tip in this one, adjusting to post-frontal conditions. And that tells you a lot about this class and what that tool is used for. And honestly, I just didn't think another soft plastic stick bait class would make our top 10, let alone coming in at number 5 for the year. So it shows how much I know about our subscribers on that one.
Yep. Just ask BTC on this one. I don't think there's a need for any other type of seminar than another stick bait seminar for Bass University. That's all we need.
Yeah,
stick bait
just
seminar.
Throw it out there and sit, look around, check your email.
Well, that's not what Strader does with this one. This is a power fishing with a finesse bait class. So, you know, it's beefed up. It's a little bit more your style.
Yeah,
it's just preacher bait.
Yeah, you just read one email in between rod twitches.
Yeah, and in between 7-pound fish catches, you know.
Unfortunately, you were correct, Peter.
Love it. I love the stick baits. I love it.
It.
There's always going to be a new twist on it. And I love Wesley. He's a great speaker, and he's always fun when he delivers. So congrats on that. Was number 5.
Yep, that's number 5. And number 4, this one's going to show up on your list. I know it, Pete. You already alluded to it. 2-time reigning Bassmaster Classic champion Hank Cherry is 2-time finisher on our top 10 list. Number 4, jerk bait flow. He's going to give up all his cadences, his modifications, and how watercolor dictates your cadence. And he also gives up a really sneaky springtime tip, but you got to watch it to go get it because it's staying in my back pocket, and I'm not going to give it all up for you on that one.
Hey, you got to go do your homework.
Sneaky. It is sneaky. Do your homework. If you haven't watched it, you're behind, guys. If you're going to fish a jerkbait, but yeah, Hank gives up some goods on that one, and also, yeah, I'm not going to give up.
Some companies are coming out with some jerkbaits modified for that bite.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
I don't know if you're talking about the one that I'm talking about, but
I don't know if I'm talking about the one you're talking about.
Well, you can get, let's just say, like the Berkeley, the one that he just came out with.
Yep.
For the shallow diver, you can get it to do things that other jerkbaits in its category can't. And that one surprised me and a lot of other jerkbait aficionados. So
the stun,
and that's
legit.
just out of the package.
So the stun is legit, is what we're saying.
Yeah, the stun is legit.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that about just any jerkbait, but like it's a tool that if you figure it out and see how it acts, on different cadences, you can really put it in your arsenal. But it's going to be more of I don't know if it'll be for you up there, shallow, grassy type stuff, Rich. It's more like steeper type bank type stuff, because of what it can do and what you can get it, where you can get
stuff
it to
over
go.
your head.
Yeah.
Well, ding, ding, ding. Yeah, he's on my list. And that was an amazing seminar. And and I'm going to, you're like the teacher that won't give you the answer that's going to be on the test, going to make you go read the whole book, man.
It's frustrating because there's plenty of people out there in Facebook and YouTube land. I'm not giving them that for free, dude.
Well,
here's something that he gives up that me and my partner Matt, he's been on the show. He's one of the best jerkbait fishermen I know. And him and Hank were on the same page about the way they like to modify their jerkbaits for years, and dude, you're just gonna have to subscribe and go watch if you want that kind of
well, the tip comes via Riz's question on our Zoom feed, which was a great one, is how clear the water needed to be. And he gave the basic tip that's so key for everybody. If he can see the foot of his trolling motor when he puts it down, the jerkbait bite is on. And that's about the water clarity, stain, when you can throw it, when you can't. If you can't see the foot of your trolling motor, maybe use a different technique. But if you can, it's jerkbait time. That is an amazing seminar. So many great tips. Got to go check it out.
Great juice. Honestly, I would give it my Professional Fish Head Award for most legit juice given up, like volume of juice. Gallons.
Most volume.
Of juice in a seminar.
Most juices.
Like,
that's a gallon of juice.
Juice of juice.
Yes.
Full
All right, let's move
Freshly
on.
squeezed.
I know I'm trying to move us along here, but number 3, we're at the top 3 now. Is G-Man, Gerald Swindle's Practice with a Purpose. This was on my list last week. Everybody already knows if they watch the show. Rich and I both loved this one. It's very influential. If you haven't watched it, get your life together and watch it. If you're a tournament fisherman, if you're not a tournament fisherman, the way he kind of practices and the way he goes about trying to find fish, you will become a better fisherman by applying a lot of what you can learn in this seminar. So Gerald Swindle, practice with a purpose at number 3.
JK, so after after last week's show, I did go back and actually watch that seminar again. I mean, it wasn't the first time I've watched it. I obviously I did teaser edits, everything else for it, but I went back, watched it again, and damn, all I can say is I am so freaking ready to fish this year. It's unbelievable. It's consuming me. I'm ready to go. And that was a great seminar. So if anybody's kind of got that itch and you're already thinking about next year, go watch it, man. It's a good one.
Can't miss with G. He's an amazing talent. So fun. So and you're listening. You're having so much fun. You don't even realize what you're learning. But that's what makes him awesome. So so glad to have him part of the program, and congrats again. No surprise, G's in the top. What else you got?
Well, we're gonna go to number 2, and this one I had mixed feelings about it because it surprised me. But if you watch the seminar, you'll probably realize just why it's so popular, or why it was so popular with our guys, because along with the lines of Bobby Lane's, video, it answers a lot of questions on a topic that there's just not a ton of information out there. Yeah, you can get little tips and stuff here and there through like 100 seminars on Bass U TV and elsewhere probably, but like this one combined it all, right? And it's Mike Iaconelli selecting the right trailer. So he's talking about jigs and chatterbaits, spinnerbaits, any bait that requires a trailer. And what sometimes we can forget is that one thing that can influence going from no bites to getting all the bites is the trailer you put on your lure. This one's all about action, the actions of the trailers, the colors, some really unique rigging tips for trailers. He answers the question, is action or color more important? And it's not black and white, for Ike. And he really geeked out on this one. I've watched it twice actually, because there's some really unique tips in there somewhere. I can't remember if it's in the question and answers piece or if it's just late in the seminar, but on like smallmouth stuff. And I could remember that, and I've gone back and consumed it. But yeah, that's your number 2 seminar, all about trailers, selecting the right trailer with Mike Iaconelli. So it's a great one, Ike. Congrats on the number 2 video of 2020.
Yeah, you picked him in number 2, just sucking up. I know, JK.
I'm not sucking up to anybody. That's the data. That was the data. I have a very specific formula that combines our views on the website with our subscribers, and those are weighted more. They get full weight, and then there's videos for like if they've viewed the short videos on YouTube or Facebook, and you get partial type credit for that one and stuff. And this just performed well on all platforms, so I have like picked on my list, but not for that video. Wow.
All right, number 2, here we go. The champ is about to be announced.
Yep. So Riz, get ready to fire up that video. We're going to watch a little clip here in a little bit once I unveil and talk about this one, but no surprises on who. This is I can't remember if he's our reigning champ or if he's just been a champ before. You guys love him. Gerald Swindle with another seminar. But Buzzbait Fishing Secrets. And I don't know if this was just that good of a seminar, and it was, or if we just happened to release it the week he had a camera on him throwing a buzzbait for 3 days straight at Neely Henry, and everybody just, it just all collided together. But regardless, the people watched it. it was overwhelming how many times this video has been viewed, and you know, everybody in the top 10 was. But G's gonna dive into the biggest problem people face fishing buzzbaits. He's gonna talk about perfecting your buzzer sounds. He's got some sick modifications. He geeks out on a ton of stuff like your reel setting for skipping a buzzbait. Why he has tons of different brands and homemade buzzbaits, and why he keeps so many different types a part of his arsenal. And you know, there's just not many people who know buzzbaits like Gerald Swindle does. It's really in his wheelhouse. Of course, he's always entertaining. We knew that, but yeah, he is our champion as far as the 2021 seminar season goes. He gave the most popular seminar, and that is the theme. That is the bait of the year. You had Brian Thrift's on water video with buzzbaits, the horny toads on it.
Yeah.
And then you had Swindle's buzzbait. That is the bait of the year, and we could have never guessed that, Pete.
No.
I would have not guessed it. And I told you in my personal fishing, I've really picked up the spinnerbait a lot here in the last couple of years, and it's been a big, meaningful play for me. I guess I got to throw that buzzbait more often, because I don't. I probably don't throw it near enough. And I mean, the Bass U members and following have spoken. They wanted buzzbaits in 2021.
Well, it's such drawing power, such big fish drawing power a buzzbait has. And it seems fallen out of favor, but since the toad has been introduced to it, it has a new life.
New life.
Yep, it's all new again. So well, let's without any further ado, Riz, if you're ready, let's go ahead and play the clip.
This is that little old tricky part. When you throw a buzzbait, they say, did you just throw it out and reel it in? That'd be negative. Now, I'm not saying like Ike without his medicine. I'm just saying you reel it in with a little action. So if I cast a buzzbait and I'm coming up to a tree and my buzzbait gets even with it, I'm holding my rod tip in a position of about 10 or 11. Never, ever, 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 ever point your rod tip at your buzzbait. You don't point a loaded gun at people, and you don't point your damn buzzbait rod at the buzzbait, because you leave yourself no room for error. And your line will touch the water and your bait won't run. It's true. Rod always should be around 10 to 11 o'clock. Right here. You want your line to be just a little sloped down, reeling your buzzbait. Not just burning it tight, not pointing to it, just slowly reeling. When I come up on a tree, a simple turn of the handle. I'm reeling that buzzbait, and if I get to a tree, I honk that handle, don't, and that bait will go, you'll see it jump, just a little bit of frequency. If you just only knew what what Johnny used to call that bucking the horse. He'd be watching me throw a buzzbait and he'd get to a bush and he'd go, buck that horse, buck that horse. You want it just to jump, you're just trying to make it different. How many times you ever threw a buzzbait and you're reeling around a bush or something and it hits the limb, and as soon as it hits the limb, they blow up on it and you miss them. You're like, God, he hit it right as he hit the limb. It's because it changed. It changed. So what you're trying to do is change that cast. Every time I get near a target, click, 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 then I start reeling it again, all the way in. I may click it 3 or 4 times during one cast. I'm just trying to trigger that extra strike. I'm trying to bring a fish up out of a bush somewhere deeper. I mean, rod positioning on that controls how that works. If you see someone pointing their bait, I mean, I can remember the day, because we used to fish the invitationals, and you would draw somebody and you were boater on boater. If you were throwing a buzzbait and he picked us up and pointed it straight at this buzzbait, you were like, I love this guy, because he's fixing to locate some bass for me, because he's not going to catch many of them on that. You just didn't have any room for error. You hear people all the time say, man, I felt him when he blew up on it. Where was your rod tip at? If you have your rod tip here and you're reeling it, and the fish were to blow up on the bait and make that whoosh, I can stop. I literally, if I'm reeling, I just pause. I'm looking at that bait to see where it goes. Then I can set the hook, then I can pull. If I'm pointing straight at him, I have nowhere to go but up to set the hook. There's no room for error. This is that little old tricky part.
And we're back.
And we're back. And give us the breakdown, JK. I couldn't listen to the clip because we're blocked on the Zoom call. What was the highlight? Give us a 2-second.
He's talking about he's talking about reel cadence and rod position and cover, and I let Rich pick it out because he liked this seminar too, but I let him pick out which moment because I was torn. But Rich, tell me what you loved about that piece.
Yeah, so one of the key things that Gerald was talking about there, as all our viewers could see, is the action that you impart on your buzzbait and why you so often seem to get bites after your buzzbait impacts a piece of cover. And one of the main things he was talking about is how to kind of create that deflection, the simulated deflection in your buzzbait without even necessarily having to be around a piece of cover. Basically, just by stopping and starting and speeding up your retrieve, slowing it down, you can make that buzzbait make different sounds, different actions, just do different things in the water, not just come across the water straight across the top. And then the other key element that he was speaking about was his rod position as he's reeling that buzzbait in. One of the key things that he talks about is don't have your buzzbait pointed straight at the bait, or don't have your rod pointed straight at the bait, and don't have your buzzbait rod up too high in your head. He said you want to have it at about 45 degrees out in front of you so that you're in a position to react in any direction while you're fishing that buzzbait. And, it's a really, really good seminar. He talks about some things on a buzzbait that, a lot of people may not necessarily think about. And one of the biggest takeaways I had from it was that he throws his buzzbaits on fluorocarbon. And now we know that fluorocarbon line sinks. It does not float. But one of the key moments when that actually comes up in a question is that if your buzzbait is sinking because you have fluorocarbon line, you got other problems. You're not reeling the bait fast enough. If you keep that bait moving, it doesn't matter whether you have fluorocarbon, monofilament, or braid. So super key deal. I actually, after watching that, I experimented with fluorocarbon this summer on my buzzbait fishing, and I liked it. It seemed to make a difference. You can cast better. You can skip better. You can just do things with that bait more, and it allows the fish to get the bait a whole heck of a lot better when you're a little bit jumpy like I am in tournament situations. You don't jerk it away from them so quick. So it's a good seminar.
We saw that jumpiness down at Gunnersville when you were like jig hook setting on those tiny trebles on the Vibe.
Yeah, hey man, you got it. You set the hook. You say that fish isn't making that mistake again. We're letting them know those
hooks. What were those hooks? They were like number 12s.
Yeah,
they were so small.
It was a Demiki vault, and I didn't replace the trebles. And no offense to Demiki, but come on, man, like these stock hooks are plastic. Like, and Rich is just jamming them into a 20-pound drum and.
Yeah.
Yo, hey, listen. When you sit in a cabin for 2 days and you just listen to people talk about fishing for 10 hours, and then you get out and you get to fish, yeah, you're a little geeked. That's all. You get that first bite, it's getting hit. You know what I mean?
That's great.
Oh my God.
I can still. JK was trying to back him off the throttle. BTC. He was like, easy, they're stock hooks, Riz. Riz wasn't having it, man. That fish was coming in as fast as it could possibly come in.
That's awesome.
I was trying to back him off, but there's no backing off Riz. I mean, Riz boxes to work out, so that tells you all you need to know right there.
That seminar is so there's a guy I've been communicating with on Instagram, aquatic biologist Shan Gorman. And somebody I'd like to have on as a guest soon. And I told him who I am and, who I work for and about Bass U. He hadn't really heard of it but didn't know about it. So he checked it out and he decided to sign up, and he's, got back to me. That was the first seminar that he watched. And,
wow.
Yeah. He actually did a YouTube video based off of that, but he loves it and did a video. Actually credited the Bass University in that Gerald Swindle piece on buzzbaits. Went out and bought like every single brand of buzzbaits and started experimenting. But the guy's super cool, and hopefully have him on a upcoming show here soon.
That's cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
Little biology.
Well, man, great list. Congratulations to the Swindle. Man, what a great rundown. Appreciate you diving in and getting us all the deets, JK. And I just want to give some of my highlights, because I'm just gonna because one of the things that you didn't touch on, and Riz may have a weigh in on this, I don't know, but the category of the favorite fish catches of the year on Bass University, and I have my top 2 picks. I'm going to be quick because number 2 is I'm dedicating to me because I wasn't on any of your list this year, JK. So, but
I guess I wasn't sucking up for real this year. All about data.
The dock fishing 101, where I was describing how to fish the piers on the dock. Riz was filming, and I noticed that there was a metal a ski lift pole that was adjacent to the piling, and I'm like, this is what you're going to be looking for, something slightly different. And I threw my jig in there, and just as soon as I said it, the 3-pounder jumped on the bait, called the shot. It was one of my most fun fish catches of the year because of that. But Riz was also part of this one, and it was my absolute favorite fish catch of the year, which was Caleb Summerall. We were punching mats, and oh my gosh, Riz, and you can walk your assessment of it through too, but we're pitching and Caleb's he's talking it up. He's like, man, everything's coming together. This looks so right. This is exactly what I'm looking for. And boom, here comes the bite. And Caleb looked like Riz, just bearing down on that fish, just swung him in the boat. And Riz and I are jumping, like we're like hugging each other and high-fiving and like fist bumping. We're so pumped because this fish catch was amazing. And Caleb just delivered it like on point. And Caleb's looking at us like, why are they being so quiet? Because we're trying not to talk through the audio while this is going on,
Yep.
And that was my best fish catch of the year by times 10,
Yeah, that was a fun one, Pete. It was like a big time mega hook set, and then the braid started to sing, as he was pulling the fish out of the mat, and we were shaking behind the steering wheel trying to break free. That was a good one. That was a really good one.
Now just wait you're going to end the year with another fish catch for tomorrow's release of the Jared Lintner's glide bait piece. Just wait till you see that one.
Oh, I can't wait.
I can't wait to cut that teaser.
Amazing strike. And Jeff caught it on film. So
nice.
that was,
I saw.
I can't wait to take this commercial break.
Yeah, we're gonna be right. We're gonna be there, right there, BG. Say, right. I want to give a shout out to Ike's Take It to the Bank. Find a place to fish, as one that didn't get mentioned tonight. Amazing. Cobb's Standing Timber seminar was definitely in my highlight reel. Everything Livesey was really, really good. And some things that you guys didn't get to see going to be releasing next year, but it happened this year. Randy Howell back in the Bass University family and speaking for us again this year. So awesome to see him back. And Alex Davis, a jerkbait seminar. It's going to be jerkbaits in the grass. Phenomenal. That's going to be released in 2022. So great list. Man, what a great year at Bass University TV. Appreciate you putting it together for us, JK. And we're going to take a quick break. And I've seen the guys chiming in. Everybody's got some issues they're dealing with, bodies of water that they want to get access to that can't. They're getting blocked out of. Man, what's the body of water you're dealing with? We've got a few right here locally to us. One of them is called Greenwood Lake, and they shut it off. But we've got some people that are helping, and they're getting us access. And we're going to, have some tools to help you get access and what you can do if you're facing this kind of problem on your body of water.
Yeah, we're going to find some things out. Yep, we got some good guests. We're going to find some things out on how to go about it, which I think a lot of guys, if they have this issue, have no clue. So, guys, remember, we've got this, I don't know, 170, 200, priceless. You can't even get them. So, Black Talon, 10-inch glide bait, the donk.
Sign up for Bass U TV for free for 60 days. Yes, free. Look at me. I said free.
Free. Come on. All right. See you in a minute.
Come on.
Moment on the water not spent fishing is a moment wasted. That's why Minn Kota and Humminbird have joined forces to bring you the One Boat Network. Products that communicate and integrate to help you take full command of your boat. Born from our commitment to making the most advanced fishing gear even better by making it work together, the One Boat Network will help you find, get to, stay on, and catch more fish. When One Boat Network products talk to each other, they can navigate your boat automatically. They can give you a crystal clear view of what's below with no messy wires. And they can let you lower, raise, and change shallow water anchor modes from anywhere on the boat. But that's just the beginning. We're never done innovating, integrating, and making your boat simpler and easier to control. All so you can make every second on the water count.
Tackle Warehouse is proud to sponsor the FLW Pro Circuit and is the official tackle retailer of FLW, providing proven bass fishing gear as well as the newest and hottest tackle. Our friendly and knowledgeable customer service staff can help you every step of the way. And we offer free ground shipping on orders over $50. Tackle Warehouse, everything for the bass angler at the lowest prices. Guaranteed.
I have to be constantly on the lookout for new techniques to stay on the top of my game.
Giant.
Some have been more successful than others.
Giant.
The finesse fingernail.
Happens every time.
The chain gang.
Broke it off.
The crow's nest.
Never let go.
And don't even get me started on tackle management, especially trying to stop rust and corrosion. Peanut butter. Not good. Motor oil. Gotta keep the rust off all these baits. WD-40. Gotta keep the rust off. Silica, toothpicks, Q-tips, the list goes on and on. I'm hard on tackle, I fish fast, I need my tackle organized and protected. I can't be worrying about losing baits to rust. And when it comes to tackle management, there's only one solution. Flambeau tackle storage systems with Z-Rust technology. The original anti-rust tackle box. Uncompromised clarity. Renowned durability. The infused anti-rust option that is FDA safe and free of harmful chemicals. The organization options are endless, but there's only one. One box, one anti-corrosion technology, one family-owned American-made brand, Flambeau Z-Rust Tackle Solutions. Preserve, perform, repeat.
And we're live.
Welcome back to Bass University Live. We were having some behind the scenes dialogue. It was great because I see my buddy is zooming in, and it's great to have you with us, Mike. Man, we were talking about something that's really, really important, and we were just talking about it is access, is your ability to get to bodies of water. We're getting blocked. We're dealing with a lot of issues, and we've got some great guests on tonight that we're going to be talking to about this. But it's something that's important to all anglers, Mike. And I know it's important to you. I know we've all battled with some of these things.
Yeah, I'm not repeating what I just said. I'm not. So I'll let you go ahead. I'm drinking whiskey tonight. I don't care. I'm via Zoom, so I can say shit tonight. I don't give a shit. All right. You take it.
Hey, it reminds me of the first episode of Mike Live.
It does. It does a lot.
That we did for a while. But speaking of which, Lane, did you see Lane catch a touchdown pass? Lane,
that was awesome.
Lane John, that was awesome.
Did he really?
The offensive lineman from the Eagles.
Why you call him offensive?
Well, because the guys that the New York Giants thought it was pretty offensive.
That ain't cool.
So, but anyway, great to have you with us, Mike. We've got some really great guests that are with us tonight as well. We're talking about angler access issues. on tonight's Bass University Live, and sitting in studio, who I'm looking for his camera, and I don't see him on my Zoom feed, but I imagine you guys might, is the Eco Bass Angler. He is the Bass University conservation officer for us, and we're really glad to have you with us tonight. Craig, are you there? He is not there. We're dealing with some audio issues in studio. Are you there, Craig?
I see the top of I see the very top of Craig's head.
Yeah, I'm here.
Barely. And it says Rebecca Iconelli. Hi, Rebecca. You look nice tonight, babe.
Thank you, hon.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm excited about tonight's topic, man. We got a lot of ground to cover. Some things going on here in the state of New Jersey that is just going to blow your hair back. Some of the stuff that we revealed and we've been talking about lately, I think is going to set a kind of a playbook or a blueprint for others to follow. We got some good guests coming on, and I think it's a really, really important topic. Brian and I were talking, just chatting. You got me? All right. A little correction. We were chatting the other day and about the significance of this, and it kind of, I was looking at some NewJerseyFishing.com articles, and I saw some stuff going on here in the state, and it reminded me of a piece that Gene is coming on later tonight in a minute here. He wrote a piece in like 2015. It was about the 5 things that are biggest threats to our sport, and one of them is access. There was others, invasive species and pollution, habitat loss, and things like that. But access sort of stuck out for me. And of course, we face that a lot here, in the Northeast. We struggle with trying to get permits to do tournaments and just to get on, public bodies of water. So I think it's going to be a really good topic. I did a little bit of digging around, and I found, pretty easily on the internet, there's a bunch other access issues going, across the state as well. So we can kind of, tap into them. But I'm looking forward to hearing from Gene on that topic. And we did some digging. We found kind of the 3 amigos that really took on the fight up at Greenwood Lake here in New Jersey. And Lou agreed to come on. Wait to hear his story. He's just so articulate and really going to be an advocate, or is an advocate for sportsmen. And I think we're all going to learn a lot listening to his story.
Absolutely. Craig, man, thank you so much. Appreciate you being in studio. I know, guys, I couldn't be in studio tonight because I got some COVID running around potentially in my house. So I'm glad to be able to Zoom in. I'm glad you're there, CD. CD, I call him CD. Craig Duran, Eco Bass Angler, is the owner and president of TTI Environmental. And back in the day, you were my supervisor at TTI.
Yeah, now you're supervising me tonight, right?
Well, hey, we're glad to have you, man. And TTI Environmental Consulting, they do work nationwide in the environmental field. He's the vice chair and board member of the Partnership of the Delaware Estuary. It's a nonprofit dedicated to improving the health of the Delaware River and Bay. And of course, he's a Rutgers grad in environmental science. And so just to give you a little bit of background on Craig, and Craig and I have been, working together, dealing with a lot of the stuff that's going on. But like I said, we've kind of gotten focused on this issue because it's an issue that's important to every angler, that's out there. And it's different whether you're, in Louisiana dealing with whatever they're dealing with down there, people buying properties, gaining access to the waterways down there, to what we're dealing with back here, which is a big deal. Like we've had a lake here, and we've kind of teased a little bit, as Greenwood Lake, where the anglers have been, basically cut off from being able to fish this lake. Craig, can you what are the details of that situation? How did the anglers get cut out?
Yeah. Before we go there, Pete, you're right. I mean, all the other threats that threaten our sport, we can have, agreements and disagreements about invasive species, whether they're good or bad, whether they end up on the right side of the fence or not. We can sort of debate that even within our community. But access, man, that is simple. That is clear cut for us, right? We can all agree that if it's a public body of water, it's state owned or what have you, we have the right. We should be on that body of water. Up in Greenwood, I think Lou's going to tell the story, but it got highlighted, for over the years, and it kept getting more and more difficult to get on the lake. The lake had maybe like 10 marinas that everybody would just pay to get access to. And the marinas were pretty cool for a while, I guess, letting people on. But when COVID hit and things got a little stricter, they kind of catered to the people who were putting their boats in the water or, for a slip. And they weren't letting bass anglers splash their boats very easily. It's hard to get a tournament. It's hard to get a parking lot. And then they started jacking up the prices. They were $40, $50 a splash to put your boat in.
Wow.
So it kind of got people, outraged. And they organized. And their voice was heard. And there's progress being made to get a ramp built by the state. I mean, basically, the citizens of New Jersey own that lake. It's a public body of water. The fishery, Department of Fish and Wildlife, they stock it, they maintain it. So we should be on it, right? And it's going to be a great story. Wait till you hear. It's not over. The battle's not over, but it involved how you organize, how you get a petition, how you activate or make your politicians aware and get them involved. The organization of how to do that and how to pull that off is a lot of hard work, and you're going to hear some good detail behind that tonight.
For show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey,
Mike, what have you ever paid $40 for a boat launch?
$40 seems excessive.
It does.
I've paid in excess of 20, but I don't think I've never paid $40 to launch a boat.
Do they park your truck for you?
Yeah.
Does it come with lunch?
Yeah, so some of these guys were showing up to the marina, and they would show up in the morning and the marina's closed. Or, they don't even want to open up till 8 o'clock. They were putting boulders on the ramps. They're putting, machines in the way. There's a story up at Greenwood where a guy lived on the lake, but, a couple streets back and wanted to take his boat out. He can't even find a way to get to the water without going through the marinas who, or being challenging, being difficult for him to put his boat in. And, they're getting $1,500, $2,000, a boat to float them in the slips. So they're not really interested in, $20, you know what I mean, for someone to splash a boat. It's just annoying to them.
What I'm interested in and kind of like wondering about is this widespread? And Mike, you might be able to speak to this a little bit from traveling all over so much. Like, are there other states that are kind of giving anglers as much of a hard time as the state of New Jersey is, or is it really only where we are in the Garden State?
No, let me jump in and tell you, this is a national issue. The nice thing about tonight's show is we got some great guests on that can speak, locally, and we all live here, so we're very vested in this, but it is a national issue. I think, of course, the Northeast and California are probably the two places you see it the most, but you deal with it everywhere. Not all of them are ramp access issues. Some are, privatized canals. I mean, look at the situation with Louisiana, and you've got a good, understanding of the same issues, a little different, but it's the same issue, right? It's water rights, water access. So this is a national issue. If you're watching and listening tonight, listen, we all want to become better fishermen, and techniques and patterns and all that stuff matter. But from a standpoint of the politics, the political side of it, we got to do something about this, because this is our right. The more that these things are taken away, the more we're losing our access to be able to enjoy the sport that we love. So this is a big deal. If you're watching and listening and you're like, I live in Maryland, I live in Ohio, I don't give a crap. You've got these same issues where you live, believe me. And this is something you gotta pay attention to.
100%. I don't know what's going on in California. And I'm anxious, guys, if you're wherever you are in your part of the country, let us know what issues that you're dealing with. It's I know it's nationwide and everybody's, got to contend with these types of things. And I just want to air out some of the stuff that I'm dealing with. And, as far as, not it's access, but it's in a different way. There's a couple things that I've observed, and I talked to you a little bit about this, CD, and we have some very politically active people that have really dominated the lake and taken it over in some places in our area in the form of scullers. They're incredibly politically active. They block fishermen from being able to have tournaments on our lakes. And they're able to run outboard motors where anglers are not. Man, that just drives me crazy, which, as fishermen, we have a voice, and I just think our voice isn't being exercised as much as it could be. And we need to learn how to be able to contact people that are the powers that be, the people that are in charge of these waterways, so that we can fight this kind of stuff. It's crazy. You have guys out there running their outboard motors while guys are rowing, and anglers aren't even allowed to launch their boats on those waterways. It upsets me, Mike.
Yeah. It's typical politics, right? Money talks, money trumps everything. It's unfortunate, but as taxpayers, we should have certain rights, and we're paying our money, right, through taxes. And, I'm really anxious to get some of the guests on tonight, our local guests and Gene, and get their opinions on this. But this is a big deal. The more we speak up, the more we stir the pot and make noise and bang on pots and pans, the more that change will hopefully happen. But, to have a fishery that is a fishery that, is a state fishery that is stocked, that has state access, and, to be denied getting on those places because of stuff like that, it doesn't make any sense to me. And it's very frustrating,
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to thank you too, Ike and Pete, for, highlighting this, because that's the start, right? We put some sunshine on this and bring this to the forefront. I did bring with me tonight a couple other examples of some of the things that are going on around the country. There's things in New Hampshire and Colorado and California, like you mentioned. And it's not just bass angling, either. I think there's some brotherhood that we can get, maybe a bigger voice if we kind of broaden it, to just fishing. Because a lot of things are going on. Colorado with like river access and blockage of areas where people can enter and then they wade down into a stream that's owned, on the land by the landowner, and they get kicked out, and there's big battles. There's a huge battle going on in Canada even. A billionaire that owns the LA Rams, he won an appeal in a court and blocked off a bunch of anglers from lakes owned by Canada. So it's even happening up there. We can get into some of those other stories too, but it's crazy, and we need to take some action and pull together as best we can, different associations, and put the pressure where the pressure is needed.
Agreed.
Yes, indeed.
What?
Hey, I got before we go too deep into this, I got Gene Gilliland sitting in the queue and ready to roll, and then we have another guest after him. If you guys are good, I'd like to bring Gene in now. Does that work for you, Pete, or you got?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been kind of chit-chatting, waiting for Gene to appear up in the Zoom call.
Maybe read the notes and follow directions.
Yeah.
All right. Briefly touch upon it, then bring the guest on.
Well, and I'm really excited. We had him on here earlier with us, and Gene's the best. He's we've talked to him and interviewed him many times. at Bass University, and he's the Bass Conservation Director. That's Bass Anglers Sportsman Society Conservation Director, Gene Gilliland. It's awesome. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us tonight, Gene.
Gene, you are muted currently, Gene. Please unmute yourself. There he is.
You got to be smarter than the equipment.
That's right.
Well, it's good. It's good to have you with us tonight, Gene. We're talking about angler access issues, and it's going on all over the country. And we're thrilled to have you with us tonight to try to help us understand what's happening and what we can do.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Craig kind of alerted me to the situation and going on there in New Jersey, and it's something that we've been dealing with, as Mike said, around the country. And it's not just something on the two coasts. There's a lake in Texas, in central Texas, that is public water, and there is no public access to it now. We've got situations in Illinois that are being closed off, in Minnesota, in Michigan. In a lot of cases, it's areas where homeowners associations or lake associations have basically bought up the entire perimeter of a lake. And so there's no land available for the state to even come in and do something. And in some cases, if there were lots available, let's say there was a plot of land, the state said, yeah, we're going to come in and build a boat ramp there. Most state laws say that the state has to pay fair market value for that land. Well, the homeowners association gets together and basically outbids the state. And now that piece of property is off the market and the public is locked out. So there's things like that are going on that are, we hear more and more about those kind of situations where people are privatizing public water. And you can talk about the whole issue of, well, the state stocked it, so we ought to be able to fish it, and that sort of thing. But if you can't get on it, it doesn't matter who's stocked it. And that's where we're running into problems. And, Mike, you said it, money talks, and that's unfortunate. And it goes not just in the way that people are buying up the property, but, Craig mentioned the billionaire football team owner that can hire a whole army of lawyers to fight these kind of issues. And generally on our side, the angler side, we can't muster that kind of political or legal power to fight a good fight. I'll give you a perfect example. When you mentioned South Louisiana, the problems we've got going on down there where they're blocking off canals and ditches and bayous left and right. I went down and testified a couple of years ago at a committee meeting that the state legislature had put together. And on one side of the panel, there were probably 6 or 8 attorneys that represented landowners, the oil and gas industry, the commercial fishing industry. And over here on this side, we have a few guides, some people that want to take their kids fishing. There were no attorneys on our side of the ledger over here. And it's not even a fair, even playing field in a lot of cases. And that's really hurting us.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just going to say, I'd agree. And, I think, and I'm just generalizing here, of course, but I think most anglers, most sportsmen are very passionate about what they do, and they love what they do. They love fishing, they love hunting, they love their sport. But, when it comes to the political side, it's scary, it's intimidating, it's something they don't know, right? And I can relate to that because I've felt those things myself. And you know, that's the message that we got to get out there. I mean, it's as vital to confront these issues, especially this one, as it is to pass it down to your kids, right? That's a vital one, and people get that, right? Yeah, I know. To grow the sport, you got to teach kids how to fish. You got to pass down. That's an easy one to wrap your hands around. But when it comes to this one, it's much tougher because, you know, when you mention politics, it just becomes scary. You know, what do I do, right? How can I help? I'm out in Middletown, Ohio, population 1,002. How can I help with this? What could I do, right? I get it. But I think we can all help, right? And that's something I would love to hear tonight from some of our guests. I know, Brian, we've got Lou coming on here in a second. I would love to hear from Gene and these guys and Craig, you know, because I'm in the same boat, right? We got a lot of people listening and watching. How can they help? What can we do, right? You know, who can we contact? We gotta cause a ruckus. We gotta take on the responsibility of this, and not as it's a burden, but as it's a duty to do it.
Yep.
Because if not, we're screwed, guys.
Yeah.
We're screwed, you know? Can I say screwed on BU?
Yeah, you just did 6 times.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
So let's throw it to you, Gene. What are some steps that guys that want to take action, volunteer, get involved? What can they do?
Well, there's really 2 things that people need to consider. The first one is we've got to find partners. We can't fight this by ourselves. We need to find other groups that are being affected the same way that bass fishermen are. We need to look at anybody that wants access to that water. Now, it seems a little bit odd to want to, you know, make friends and try to be allies with the people that are out there with jet skis. But, you know, in a lot of cases,
jet skis?
There's just not, we got to get all of the groups that want to use the water together, talking the same language. And as we've said for a long time, we got to get a seat at the table. That's the other big issue, is when decisions are being made about what's going on with a body of water, the angling community, and I'm not talking about just bass fishermen, I'm talking about the guys that are fishing for crappie and muskie and trout and salmon and anything else. We all need to be on the same side, and we need to have a place at that negotiating table so that our interests are part of the discussion. And the politicians need to know that we are a force to be reckoned with, that we have numbers on our side. Maybe we don't have as much money or as many lawyers, but we got people that vote, and they got to know that. And that's a big part of it. We've got some leverage there that we can use to make sure that they understand that we're serious about this. But we got to make sure we've got a seat at the table, and we've got to get our partners working with us so that when we get into those situations where the marina operators say, well, you know, I'm represent 500 people, somebody from the fishing side can say, well, I represent 5,000 people. And then when you start talking numbers like that, the politicians pay attention, because those are people that vote, and that makes a difference to them. So those are the things that we really got to start out with. The other thing that I think we need to think back about too is kind of let's step back and look at the groundwork where a lot of this comes from. Every state gets money from the federal government through the Sport Fish Restoration Program. That's the excise tax that's on the tackle, rods, reels, lures, even the fuel, the marine fuel that goes in boats and motors. Every state gets a chunk of that money from the feds. And the law says that 15% of that has to be spent on boating access. So in the case of the state of New Jersey, they get about $4 million a year from this sport fish restoration program. 15% of that is $800,000, give or take. So that money is supposed to be going towards boating access improvements and maintenance. And so there's one thing that you can go to your state fish and game agency and say, where's that money going? What's it being spent on? Now, they may have it allocated for 2 or 3 years down the road. So they may not have money today that they can spend. But there's money out there that's dedicated to fishing and boating access. Now, the catch in that is that it's a matching program. The feds say, we'll give you $3 for every $1 that the state puts up. Well, that means the state's got to have $1 somewhere. It can be private money. It can be licensed dollars from fishing license sales. It just can't be other federal money, but they can put up $1. The feds will put up $3. So you can see how you want to build a $1 million boat ramp. The state only has to put up $250,000. The federal money comes in with $750,000, and you build a really, really nice boat ramp for $1 million. So that's available in almost every state if people find out how it's being spent. And that would be one of the questions I would have for you guys in Jersey, is to say, go to the state Fish and Wildlife Agency and say, okay, where's our money going? Because me as an angler, as a boater, I'm paying into that. And I want to know where my money's going. So that's one of the first questions to ask when you're talking about trying to build a boat ramp or have some kind of access put in. Talk to the state boating access people and say, where's my money going? And you start the conversation right there.
And I guess we, maybe we need some more specifics. Like, man, where does that agency, where does it exist? How do we reach out to them? Do we write letters to these groups?
Well, it's the state Fish and Wildlife Agency. The first thing you do is you call up your state agency and you ask for the boating access coordinator. They've got one. They may call it something a little bit different, but that's what it amounts to, because they'll have somebody on their staff that is in charge of this program. And you start asking them questions and say, where are you building boat ramps? And what are the priorities for the next 2 or 3 or 5 years? We know, you tell them, hey, I know that you're supposed to spend money on boating access because the Sport Fish Restoration Law Act says that you're supposed to. Find out where they're spending their money. And that opens the door then to the conversation about places like Greenwood Lake, where you think, okay, there's a potential of doing something there. Let's get that on the list if it's not already.
Yep. I think it's a great time to bring in our next guest to join this conversation right here, and that is Lou Martinez.
Hey, Lou, are you with us?
There he is.
Lou, can you hear us?
I got you, Pete. How you doing?
I'm good, Lou. I know we're talking about angler access issues. We got a particular issue that is taking place, and we mentioned a little bit on Greenwood Lake, which is close to us. And you've been on the front lines, tackling this issue and many other issues. And you know, it's been well. Tell us about it. Tell us about what you're facing up there and how things are progressing.
Okay, getting back to March of this past year, Captain Dave Owenweed, a good friend of mine, contacted me and said, "Lou, we can't get onto Greenwood anymore." And I said, "What are you talking about?" Says the marinas won't let us onto Greenwood anymore. So I write for the Federated Sportsman's News. I called all of the marinas, found out that 90% of them were not allowing access, they were denying it. So we decided, well, we have to do something to alleviate this problem. And I got
Can I what does denying access mean? Did they like block the ramps?
They put large machinery blocking the ramps, and they actually dug posts and put chains across there.
What?
And then they even put up signs, no launching at all. No launching at all. We have the photos. We sent them to the Star Ledger. It came out on the front page of the Ledger that fishermen were losing their favorite lake, Greenwood Lake, and we started a petition. Captain Dave put a petition on change.org. It generated 2,000 signatures with the help of Paul Schmidt from Northeast Bassmasters. Paul's club alone got us 500 signatures. Once we had enough signatures on the petition, it drew media attention. The media attention then drew legislative attention. When the Star Ledger comes out in Trenton, and the first article on the page is that fishermen are very upset that they're losing their favorite lake, legislators are going to listen. They're going to start to get involved. We sent them copies of the petitions with 2,000 signatures. They saw that this was a legitimate problem. And now in November, this past November, 2 of our state legislators came up with law that would make it require the DEP to provide public access for boats on state-owned lakes, and it appropriates $1 million for this access. Right now, this legislation is making its way through the process. We're also working with the Division of Fish and Wildlife, who's been very helpful in moving this along. As a matter of fact, they took their land that had been leased to West Milford for the last 25 years, took that land back from West Milford. That's Browns Point. That's where the public launch is going to be built. So it's not an easy job. It's something that you really have to dedicate yourself to. And you need good people working with you to get this going. Once you get it going, you get people start calling you up. Hey, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you try that? And then we had reporters calling us. What's going on? We see this petition. What's going on? They put it on front page of the paper, and all of a sudden, the marinas get very pissed off that we did this. Excuse my French. But the bottom line is, the people that paid for the last 30 years for you to make your money, now suddenly you're not allowing us to do what we've always done. Pay you to launch our boats. Now the 1 or 2 that are willing to let you do it are saying they want $50. We're not willing to pay that. We'll wait till they put a public launch in there. They're not getting any more of our money. But the bottom line is that bass fishermen, all fishermen, have to start uniting and working together. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I don't care if you're a bass fisherman, a muskie fisherman, maybe you don't like each other. You better start working together, guys. We're going to lose it.
Yep.
Does that mean, like Gene said, we have to make friends with the jet skiers, Lou?
Oh.
No, absolutely not. I'm sorry, Gene. I don't agree with that one, Gene, because one of the biggest pains in our behind is a jet skier on the commission. So no, I'm not making friends with him anytime soon. And
Or the wakeboaters.
As a matter of fact, Gene, they made the remark to Captain Dave, you guys can't afford to fish here.
Oh,
You can't pay $50. You can't afford to fish here. My money built that fishery.
That's right.
I paid for 35 years to use that fishery. And now suddenly it's a resort? No. It's the second biggest fishing lake in New Jersey. And
we ain't got many. We're hurting for them. So
Yeah.
they don't
You're
get to
not
take
kidding.
number 2 away.
You're not kidding.
Nah.
And I see that you're having problems down in South Jersey. We're looking into Alloway Lake for you.
My man.
Thank you.
United Freshwater Anglers are going to take a look at this. I'm going to be sitting in on a meeting at the invitation of our Fish and Game Council chairman on the 12th of January, Southern Federation meeting of all of the counties. This is going to be on the agenda.
Right on.
Bring it to the Federation. The Federation works with the New Jersey Outdoor Alliance and other organizations. And maybe we can do something to help you out,
Oh man, that would be great. I appreciate it.
you know?
You-
But
Can we get
honestly,
Pete there? Do you need Pete there?
I'm going to tell
there.
you, Pete, the one thing that you got to really drive home to your members, future fishing's in your hands.
Yeah.
If you decide to sit on them, you're not going to be fishing where you want to fish, when you want to fish for very much longer. There's an undercurrent going on, guys. There's the animal rights activists
Yeah.
are going to these little associations. They're getting you thrown off of them. You don't even know what's happening.
That's right.
You just think it's the association came up with these rules and regulations. They do the same thing with the bow hunters.
Yep.
They go from town to town. They pass an ordinance, no discharge ordinance. Now, what does that mean? No more hunting. They can do the same thing with fishing, and they've had it on their agenda. I'm going to tell you, going back 35 years, no fishing is on their agenda. That's the Humane Society, PETA, and all our other little buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete. Pete, are you hearing this playbook here? You know, petition, media, political involvement. You hearing that?
The bottom line is, if you follow the blueprint that the bow hunters laid out for us 35 years ago, you get your guys to go to class to learn media, public, and government relations. You should be able to get that from the Sportsmen's Alliance in Ohio. They are the ones that graduated the first class 35 years ago. That's why you guys that bow hunt can still bow hunt in this country. They taught us how to work with the media, how to get positive attention for our problems. And not only that, we went and took it a step further. We went and protested at the animal rights activists' fundraisers. We cut into their money-making abilities. Their guest speaker, Cleveland Amory, you older guys will remember that name, showed up. He was their guest speaker. He saw us protesting in front of the picnic. He left. They wanted to sue us because we stopped their capability to raise funds. And we have a lot more fishermen than there are bow hunters or gun hunters. We got to get them working together.
Yes.
And we can beat them. But if everybody just does their own little thing at their own little time, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Nah.
I'm telling you, I've been doing this for 40 years. I see their handwriting on the wall.
Yeah.
Well, Blue, man, the work that you're doing is amazing, and we can
Well,
feel your passion for it. And Gene, how awesome would it be to have a Lou in every state in the nation working on the behalf of bass anglers?
Well, yeah, we need to clone him.
We actually
I'm
got
laughing
people.
'cause-
We got people on the message board asking if Lou can handle their divorce for them. I don't know if it's we're spreading our wings quite that far at the Bass University, but Lou, you seem
I've been
pretty
happily
influential.
married since '77, so I don't have any experience in divorcing.
Good for you, Lou. That ain't easy. This is from me to you right here. That's good work, Lou.
All right. And once again, I just want to thank my colleagues, Dave and Paul Schmidt. If I didn't have these two guys on my side, couldn't do this by myself.
Yeah.
Couldn't do this by myself.
Lou, how could somebody that, say there's somebody watching this show right now that wants to get involved, wants to make a difference, help somehow? What's the first step that they could do? Who's the first point of contact? Is there a website they need to go to? How do they get their foot involved in the fight for the rights as bass anglers in the state of New Jersey?
As bass anglers in the state of New Jersey, they can go through their Bass Federation, or they can go through the State Federation of Sportsmen's Clubs. They seem to have a little more clout, simply because they're the ones that elect the people that go onto our Fish and Game Council. There's 6 sportsmen. There's farmers. I believe there's 3 of them. There's a couple from the general public and 1 from endangered and non-game species. But
no jet skiers.
for the most part, it's, and Murphy wants to change this. He wants to add 5 more seats on the council. We'll never go for that because they're going right to antis.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see a lot of problems in the state of New Jersey. So far, we've been able to stop that from happening.
Yeah.
But really, gentlemen, I mean, you got the forum here. You got to use it, and you got to pound it into these guys' heads. It's great to learn to catch fish, how to catch fish, when to catch fish. But if you want to keep catching fish, you're going to have to work for it.
I agree, Lou.
A lot of this was handed down to us by our elders, but now it seems that the new generation, or Gen X, or whatever you want to call them, they don't want to be bothered with this stuff. They want to play their video games, and that's it. Heck with the outdoors. This is really like a terrible thing that's happening in this country.
Brian.
But little by little, working together, we can beat these people. But you're talking about a bunch of tennis shoe wearing old biddies telling you where you're gonna fish and what you're gonna do. You shouldn't stand for that.
Nah, we ain't standing for the tennis shoes.
Yeah.
No,
Tennis shoe wearing
no.
old biddies.
Tennis
Tree
shoes.
huggers.
That's right.
Gene.
Tree huggers. Hey, listen, don't laugh. They just stopped the bear season in Jersey.
Yep.
I mean, 2 years ago, they killed the number 1 bear in the world was killed in New Jersey. And now you can't even hunt bears.
What do you mean, number 1?
Number 1, Pope and Young Club bear was killed by Jeff Malilio.
In Jersey?
In 2019. Yeah. It was certified by the Pope and Young Club as the number 1 archery taken bear in the world.
That was a squatch.
In the world. It squashed the record.
Wow.
Well, Gene, I know
714 pounds.
you've got federation presidents and you've got environmental directors all over the country in bass.
We've got a conservation director in almost every state, not every one, that are part of the Bass Nation, and they're generally pretty plugged into these issues. Unfortunately, bass fishermen in general, tend to be more reactive than proactive, and that's one of the problems. Is that by the time they realize that there's a problem, the bus has already run over them, and it's hard to catch up when you've already got tire tracks on your back. And so that's, what Lou's saying is exactly right. You got to get out ahead of these things, and you need people. You kind of have to have an early warning system. You got to have people that have their ear to the ground, know what's going on, can kind of keep tabs on things that are coming at you. And you may not know exactly what's up yet, but you got to have a little bit of an idea of what the fight's going to be. We've got places around the country where there are groups that are using invasive species rules to prevent anglers and boaters from getting on bodies of water now. And it's really just another way of privatizing those waters. It's groups that say, we don't want you on our water. So, oh, look, the state gives us the right to police this water body through these new invasive species rules and inspection processes and that sort of thing. And in fact, what they're trying to do is just keep outsiders off of their water.
Yep.
And so it may not be as, like the situation you got there in New Jersey where the marinas are shutting things down. It might be the county or homeowners groups or lake associations are getting very powerful. And those are the groups that we've really got to be watching and keeping an eye on what they're doing. And every state has got some kind of an issue like this. There's almost everywhere I'm hearing more and more of it. Now, one of the things that we do have kind of helping in our favor, Lou mentioned the legislative avenue. We've got some partners. The National Marine Manufacturers Association, NMMA, their whole job is to get people boating and keep people boating. And with the boom in trailer boat sales and use this last year, they are on our side in terms of trying to help access problems. The American Sport Fishing Association, obviously, they want people fishing. They represent the tackle industry. Congressional Sportsmen's Foundation. This is a group that's made up of every state has legislators who are sportsmen. They hunt, they fish. Those people are on our side. We need to all get to know each other and make sure that we're all on the same page. So when our early warning system sends up some kind of red flag, we get all of these groups together. Like Lou was talking about, he's got people trained to go through the next step. Here's what you do next and what you do next, so that we get some of this action taken before it's too late.
I agree with you, Gene. I want to just finish up by saying that Senator Panaccio, who is one of the sponsors of the bill, sums it right up. He says there are more than 1.5 million fish, more than 1.5 million anglers that fish the state's waters each year. 2 out of every 3 boats is used for fishing in New Jersey. The public should be able to enjoy the same ease of access enjoyed by property owners, members of private marinas. Incredibly, Greenwood Lake, the second largest lake in the state, has no public access. This bill will fix that. The bill also provides for public access for boats on state-owned lakes. So it's not only going to be Greenwood, it's going to be other public bodies of water that we may have already been kicked off of, that now we have a footfall to get back in there, But we're not going to get in there if we don't go after it. If we just sit and do nothing, then that's what we're going to receive, nothing.
And that's where some of the partners that we've got, especially like our Congressional Sportsmen's Foundation group, they know all of the other legislators within the assembly there that are outdoors.
Which ones to contact, sure.
And they know which buttons to push. Because Mike said it earlier, the typical bass angler, he doesn't know politics, doesn't want to know politics. that's where we have to rely on some of our partners that they know the ins and outs of what goes on and who to contact. And once they provide us with that, what I call a call to action, that's when Mike gets on here and he says, okay, sportsman, you need to call your congressman or write a letter or send an email, make a phone call, because that's when they'll really start responding, when we send out that call to action and we get the whole universe of anglers going in the same direction.
That's absolutely true. But when going back to our bow hunting days, when they first had the two bills, one to ban bow hunting, one to ban broadheads, we asked the committee that was looking at this bill to give us a chance to respond. They laughed in our face. They weren't laughing when they got 2,000 letters in wheelbarrows, okay? I got a letter from Raymond Zane, a good senator from South Jersey, basically told me, please, in the future, one phone call, no more letters. He says, I have to answer all these letters. Well, guys, that's what we have to do now. We got to beat them with emails. We have to hit them with phone calls. We have to drive them crazy. That's the only thing they understand, and that's how the animal rights activists are playing their game. And that's why they're getting so much headway in not only this state, but other states.
Well,
yeah, hey, real quick, Pete, let me jump in. I want to say something real quick. And I love this conversation. I just want to add to that, you know, as times change, social media is an amazing tool. And, you know, there's good and bad parts to social media, but one of the good parts is we can use social media to help spread the word and to get it out more quickly than we could in the past. So, you know, if you're like me and you don't have a great handle on the political system, or you're intimidated, everyone has a social media account. You have a voice there, use it, tag people in those posts, create an atomic reaction through social media, and that'll help get it some eyeballs.
And the other thing too, Mike, keep it civil. They have to keep it civil.
I have a hard time with that, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
It's not
I'm
easy,
not
Lou.
pointing you out. I'm saying what I see on social media, some of it really hurts us. So if they're going to contact, just keep it civil, be nice, you'll get your way.
So no
Sound
torches
advice.
and pitchforks and
No, not this week.
not yet.
Yeah, we might try that next.
All right. Flaming arrows.
Yeah,
I was state champion.
I was going to everyone in South Jersey ramming the gate at Alloway Lake, but I probably shouldn't do that.
No, but you know, we're not there yet.
I thought we were going to run up there from the Delaware, jump the dam.
Jump the dam. Well, I've done that before.
I've sent I've sent Brian 6 pages on Alloway Lake, all of their provisions and all of the changes that they've made since they accepted that Green Acres money. And the only problem that I see with this is we're probably about 3 or 4 years or 5 years too damn late.
Oh.
We should have been going to these meetings as soon as they got that money, and it was going to be public access. We should have been there when they were drawing up all of their little bylaws and all of their little ways to keep you out, 18-foot boats, no gas engines. I mean, all of this could have been just taken out of there before it even got put in.
Lou, how much of this has to do with us and what we do as fishermen as opposed to the riffraff that occurs at boat ramps and public access areas outside of fishermen, i.e., you know, one of the things that kills me is anytime I walk up to a boat ramp or I'm driving into a WMA and I'm going to go fishing, is seeing piles of trash as I'm going in. Because I know from my experience hunting that that's the quickest way to get a gate locked is to have trash and have
Yes.
people swimming, because if there's trash everywhere and somebody drowns, guess what? It's over. So, you know, how much of this is really stuff that we're doing, or is it outside factors influencing this as well?
When I first spoke with Paul Zarillo from the Greenwood Lake Commission, he said to me, and I quote, "Bass fishermen or takers, they don't leave anything but garbage. They don't spend their money in our town. They don't buy our gas. They don't eat our food." And Paul Schmidt, who runs the biggest bass club in New Jersey, put him in his place when he told them, "We do every single one of them things. We leave more than we take. We don't even take the fish that we catch. We release them. We buy our gas. We get an ice cream cone on the way home, or we stop for dinner if, you know, the guys want to sit and shoot the bull for a while."
Cold beer.
So everything that they were saying was reasons to get us out, but they were not true. And that's why we were, you know, our hackles got up and we said, we're going to fight. I mean, I've been fighting since I was a kid. I'm not stopping anytime soon.
Let's go, Lou. Let's go.
But, I mean, honestly, guys, that's how you have to look at it. You're in a fight, and you better believe it. You're in a fight.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's the prognosis on Alloway, Lou?
Prognosis on Alloway is you may be able to get in there. I don't know how you're going to circumvent the gas engines. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to go sit with the Federation, like as I said, on the 12th. Then they will direct people from the Division of Fish and Wildlife and Division of Fish and Game to take a look at it. Because honestly, when I spoke to the Fish and Game chairman, he told me that he hasn't heard anything about Alloway in years. He was surprised that this was going on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I mean,
we're
this shouldn't be
disorganized down
kept a
here.
secret. Excuse me?
As we're very disorganized. We don't have any kind of organization or unity or central group down here. It's a bunch of little splinter 10-man clubs to go out and fish.
Yeah.
We don't.
Well,
we don't
you're
do
gonna
much
have
to
to
give back.
start pulling those clubs together and making them work together. I know my friend Dave mailed out a petition to every single bass organization that he had an address for in New Jersey. You know how many we got back? 2.
What?
2.
That's pitiful. Was that related
2.
to Greenwood?
To Greenwood. And that's a lake that a lot of guys like to fish.
Yeah, come on, man. We got to get together,
2.
guys. Yeah.
2 we got.
Yeah.
If it, like I said, if it wasn't for Paul's club,
Yeah.
that petition would have died.
Yeah.
That petition would have died.
And the stipulation on Alloway isn't even about running your gas motor. It's electric only lake. You just can't have one
They
hanging
just
on
don't
the
want
back.
you to have it at all.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. I mean, every one of them have chem lawn and septic systems and roof runoff and every other thing. So don't come at me with my gas, with a gas motor. That's ridiculous. I know how that works.
Well, what I was looking at is I understand that when Greenwood Lake makes their money available for certain projects, that you're not supposed to change the use of the land, or in this case, the water. So if bass boats were allowed there before this, then in my way of thinking, they should be allowed after. And if they're not, I would be going to Green Acres and saying, why did you give these people all this money and now they're not letting me use it?
Yeah, yeah.
These are public funds. I'm part of the public. You're keeping me out. Why?
Yeah. Was it Green Acres at Alloway?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So you really should look into that. I don't have contacts there anymore. My cousin used to be number 2 at Green Acres, so he was able to help us with archery. But now, those are different people. I don't know them. But
love the fight, Lou. I love it. I love the fight in you, and I think you've inspired a lot of people that are listening.
Well, Pete, I hope so.
Take action.
All I want to do is, like Dave says, I just want to fish. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do all this other stuff, but if I have to do it in order to fish, then I'm going to do it.
That's right.
Well, we appreciate you fighting on our behalf. And if people want to help you in your cause right now, what can they reach out to you? How can they find you?
Well, we're going to be putting up a website soon. We haven't done it because we've been so busy fighting this fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we have the time, we'll put up a website or we'll put up a Facebook page. You'll be able to contact us on there. If not, you can contact me at Lou the Fisherman at Verizon.net, like fishing net, and I'll send you to the right person.
Well, Lou, I'm going to just go ahead and speak for all of us down here in South Jersey and anglers, all across this part of the state. Thanks for what you're doing, for fighting for us, for Alloway Lake, and everything that you're doing for everybody up north as well. I mean, like you said, and Gene, you said as well, as fishermen, ultimately, in order to accomplish something in these battles, we got to come together. And our strength is going to be in our numbers, and you've given out some really great advice on this, and Gene, you have as well, with kind of giving us a starting point in that, we may not know much about, the law and how all this works, but we are voters. And, if we can influence some people to fight on our behalf because we are voters, that seems like the most efficient way to really make a difference. So, it's time. It sounds like it's time for us to step up as anglers
100%.
In the state and, make our voices heard and use the platforms that we have to help make a difference.
Yeah, 100%. Lou, I talked to you for the first time December 24th. Today's the 28th. In 4 days, with Christmas in the middle, you've done more, for Alloway Lake than any of us have done down here to get this thing figured out. And, we got to pick it up. Like Rich said, we got to get it together and
get it together, guys, because you can make a difference. I mean, even if you got to park your butt in their parking lot with permission from the state police and put up signs. These signs came from South Jersey. Jimmy McCluskey made them up for us, and we used them all over the state.
Lou, I'm just saying, yo, Jimmy sent me.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, guys, if you're listening, it's Jimmy.
Everybody knows the Jimmy. Yeah,
Jimmy
was it Joe?
Yeah, Jimmy said ram the gate.
That's fun. So if you got a problem in your state, you got to get Jersey on them.
That's right. Tell them about Jimmy.
Yeah, that's it. Tell them go Jersey on.
Yeah. Jimmy sent me. You know what happened to Joey?
Lou, that was great. So helpful. And Gene, I wanted to ask you a question because this has been stuck in my craw, and I know you've dealt with this. I hope. I want an answer because I'm from Access. Like I got a Karen screaming at me when I'm trying to fish her dock. What is there a general rule across the country on where you can fish or where you can't when it comes to dock fishing?
Unfortunately, not. The states have little differences in what they define as what is public water and who can access that water and how. For example, in Texas, the Attorney General has said public water is public water, period. You can fish docks all you want, as long as you're not fishing around a gas dock where there's an obvious safety issue. They can put some sort of restrictions there. But the thing that we've run into across the country, and it's just boggles my mind, the Corps of Engineers in one part of the country says, yep, you can fish docks. But in another part of the country, the Corps of Engineers says, no, You can't fish. You have to stay 50 feet away. It's the Army. Shouldn't the rules be the same everywhere?
Right.
But they're not. And what we've run into is, especially with Corps of Engineers lakes, is that about every 2 or 3 years, you get a new colonel in that district, and he can change the rules with the stroke of a pen. And so you don't know what the rules are if you're fishing different places around the country. For the most part, most states say public access to public water. The state owns the water. If you get on a dock, that's trespassing. That's pretty obvious. But the water itself is generally owned by the state, and anglers should have access to it within reason, as far as, as long as there's not real safety issues. But there are some places where, we kind of get back to who's got the money. The marina associations have banded together and gotten to the lake authorities and gotten rules written that allow them to basically to post the docks and say this is, quote, private water and private, within 50 feet or 100 feet or some distance like that. And so it's different in different states. It's different even within states. There can be differences from lake to lake, and a lot of that depends on who the lake authority is. If it's a federally owned lake with the Corps of Engineers, or if it's a river authority, or if it's some other kind of state-owned property, versus, let's say, a power plant lake that is owned by the power company. They have a lot of say in what you can and can't do under those kind of situations. So, unfortunately, there's not a universal rule that anglers can go by across the country when it comes to dock fishing. We have a number of times and continue to do so in trying to get some sort of more uniform rules across the country, but it's been a real challenge. And that's something that Bass, my predecessors as conservation director at Bass, going back probably 20 plus years, have fought that same battle.
Yep. Paulie B says, I believe if an owner has an issue, they can shove that opinion where the sun doesn't shine.
I agree.
I think we share that opinion. CD, you've been boarded by the Coast Guard a number of times trying to fish docks on our waterways. It's like with the DEP, the fishing game says you can fish wherever you want to, but man, the Coast Guard gets called on us all the time for
on the river
trying to fish the docks. On the river.
They always get me.
I've been boarded 4 times.
They always get me on the Steelies on the Jersey side.
Yeah, exactly.
Just south of Timber.
Yeah,
the guy comes out. It's like half time.
Yells at you, and then the Coast Guard runs you down, and then
I give him the same thing every time. I'm working my way out.
Yeah,
the fish every pile on the way out.
I'm starting to wear earbuds. I just cut the wires and act like I can't hear them.
2:30.
Yeah, what?
It's 2:30.
Yeah. Until the Coast Guard shows up, and then they board you and tie you.
Our boats are way faster than theirs.
They got that twin 300s on that one.
And they got the.
Well, in a lot of places, it's just a bluff. And there's places where there is actually no law that they can cite you for.
Yeah.
Right.
But the law enforcement people, there are buddies with the local sheriff or the constable or somebody. They come out and they kind of threaten you with something.
Yeah.
But in a lot of cases, there's not actually something they can write you up for.
Yeah.
And we typically tell people, hey, don't make a scene, don't be confrontational.
Right.
If it's that kind of a problem, leave and we'll deal with it. We'll try to go through the proper channels. But the other part of that is that there are a lot of states now that have constitutional amendments that guarantee the rights of hunters and anglers to pursue their sport.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody harasses you unduly in the wrong situation, the wrong places, you can have charges filed against them. So it just depends on which side of that argument you're on.
I
That's
think
absolutely
Riz
right.
should take it for the team and get arrested out on the river, and then we'll try to get him out.
Yeah, right.
I got bail money for you, bro.
Yeah, right.
Nah,
What
nah,
Gene-
nah, not on the river.
I think
Lou,
what-
go ahead.
what Gene was referencing is about 30 years ago, we had the law passed in New Jersey, which is an anti-hunter harassment bill. And it also equates to fishermen. If you are being harassed while you are legally doing something that you are legally allowed to do, you paid for your license fee, you're fishing, you're hunting, you're trapping, whatever, and somebody wants to harass you, Gene's absolutely right. You can have them written up, you can have them arrested.
That's right. But film it because it's gold on YouTube.
I would, yes, exactly that. And don't curse at them and don't fight with them.
Ooh.
Make them the bad guys. You be the good guy.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes you got to swallow it, but in the end, you win.
Hey guys, what a great conversation.
Yeah, man.
Lou and Gene, appreciate you guys so much. Keep us posted.
Hey,
If
Pete,
there's
I
anything
don't,
we
I
can
don't
do
want
to
this
help
to be
you
the
call
last
us, let
time we.
us know.
Yeah, I don't want this to be the last time we talk about this, Pete. This is.
Yeah.
This is.
No, it shouldn't.
No, this
it
is step
shouldn't.
one.
No.
It shouldn't.
Well, I will say that if for the viewers that are from other states, if they've got issues, specific problems, they can email me, and I'll be glad to try to steer them in the right direction to contact the folks in their state that are doing a lot of the same kind of things that Lou and his folks have been doing, and get people organized to try to fight those battles. They can send me an email. It's Gilliland at bassmaster.com.
How you spell it, G?
It's just Gilliland. It's my first initial and my last name, no dots or periods, at bassmaster.com.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And, guys, if you want to get involved, reach out. We've got a couple real, powerful guys who are getting stuff done here with us tonight. And appreciate you guys hanging out. It's not going to be the last time, because the next issue that comes up, we're going to have you guys come in and help us navigate those waters too. And I hope for that. And thank you so much. I hope you guys had a great holiday. Happy New Year. And I really appreciate you guys both hanging out with us tonight.
God bless.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. I'm going to get my tackle ready. I'm going to go fishing tomorrow.
Oh,
There
right.
you
on,
go.
Gene.
Let's go.
Me
Nice,
too.
Gene.
Screw work.
That's awesome. Send us some pics, Gene. Thanks, guys. Good night.
Lou, thank you.
What a deal, man. There's so
care,
much going on.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. There's so much going on. And CD, I appreciate you kind of rallying the troops and getting this show together for us tonight.
Yeah, man. This is what it needs. It needs the spotlight. It needs to be highlighted. And there's more of it around the country. I can see your board just lighting up. People are dialing in. We should pick another one. You find another Lou somewhere else in the country and hear what they're doing.
There might only be one Lou.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Guy's high octane.
Yeah. Yeah, Uncle Lou.
Yeah.
What's up, Mike?
Got
We
the
got
mute
no- we
on.
got-
You got mute on, boss.
I'm having a Captain Coke. I said Pete will appreciate it.
Nice.
Hey, this
I
is the
will
bar.
appreciate that. I wish I had a Captain and Coke.
Look at that. That stays down here at the bar, and it stays like that. If Pete had his grubby hands on it, it'd be empty in one show.
This much.
Coffee. Drinking coffee.
That's hey, it's coffee. It's coffee. That's all I'm drinking.
Ma.
But-
Hey, Ma. It's coffee.
Did it come
Yeah.
across all right?
That's
Oh, good, because I was a little. I got two phones ringing. Oh, it's Paul.
Lou, are you still with us, Lou?
Hey, Paul, I'll talk to you and Dave at the same time. I got you in one ear and him in the other.
You better be careful,
It's-
Brian.
Yeah. Rich, gotta cut that.
You gotta listen. It's like the Jimmy Houston
No, not
experience.
again.
Oh,
Little
that's
Christmas
great.
past.
Oh man.
We got to get Lou down, move down here. I need Lou. I need more Lou.
Lou's getting some stuff done, man.
Dude, I mean, right on it.
He's a pit boss.
Yeah, right on it. We got to get it together, man. These fucking guys, we got to get our shit together down here. I'll talk to some guys. Let's see if I can get us rallied. But what else are we hearing from guys in other parts of the country with some problems, or is this just us?
No, I think it's out there, and I think we can reach out to some other people. I wanted to if I had more time, get into it with Gene, because I know there was one in New Hampshire that he was involved with. Yeah. What's the name of that place? Maybe you guys that fish at Sunapee. They were having a problem.
Yeah.
There was a couple others, Colorado and California.
Palatine.
Yeah, maybe. That's fishing. Well, you're talking about public water that's getting blocked off. That one in Canada, man. The guy that owns the Rams, he bought all the land all around it, and it's public water, and they can't get to the water to fish it. And they won. A little club went after him. They won. They got the access back, right? And then he appealed it, right? He threw more moolah at it. He appeals it. He wins, kicks him off. And because it's Canada, now the person who brought the suit has to pay his legal bills. So it's a tiny little club getting beat up.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So the guys
owner
that
of the
grew up
Avalanche,
there,
owner of the Rams.
Yeah, and the guys that grew up there lived there.
Now
can't.
They won because they said we have this little indigenous trail that goes to these public bodies of water, and he bought all the ranch land around it. He's the largest ranch, and he's American, which, of course, they probably
scumbag.
Yeah, and so he took it to an appeal, won it, and this little tiny club just getting beat up.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, but it's on a personal level, there's families that live there. There's kids that can't fish that lake that they grew up on.
Right.
Because
right.
And it's
there seems to be it could be a better solution, right? Some kind of controlled access, or
Yeah, anytime you got to get a lawyer involved, anytime a lawyer's involved, somebody's being a scumbag.
Right.
Isn't that true?
Right. And they win, and then he appeals it.
But somebody on one of the ends is.
Yeah.
That's just my own thoughts.
There's more of it. There's more of it out there, and
scumbaggery.
I like to go through your chat board, and find out some other cases that are going on, so we can shine some light on it.
Michael, what is he doing? Is he muted again?
I'm down at the bar. I haven't been down at the bar in a long time, man. I miss it down here. I was just telling Beck. This feels like the old days.
I know. I miss it too. I haven't been down there in a lot longer than you.
I miss
What are you doing with that? What are you doing with the old studio room? What's going on in there?
The studio is it's a game room now.
Nice.
Whoa.
Like Chutes and Ladders?
I'll give you a little look real quick here. Hold on a second. I don't know how to flip this around. There, like this. It's a little bit of a game room. We got some games in here. We got some kids in here.
Oh, wow.
Playing a couple games.
I miss that room.
Damn. You got VR going on?
We still have some memorabilia.
Yes.
Brian's still in here.
Are my one-eyed sunglasses still in
here?
Oh, man. Oh, good times.
Brings back memories.
I want to say real quick, I know we're winding down, but I want to say, want to wish everybody a happy new year. Hope everyone had a happy holiday. All the subscribers and people looking for the first time, man. Great time of the year, Pete. Get a BU subscription. Listen, man, you got a little extra cash in your pocket? You're looking for a little gift or something after the holiday? Come on, Pete. Right now's the time to learn, right? Watching tape, watching film right now. Let's go. Tell them about it. What do you got?
Let's go, man. We've got it going on. Go over to bashu.tv, get subscribed. We got a 60-day free pass to dip your toe in it. And we got a great deal where annual subscribers get a hat and a face shield with their annual subscription. So it's a really cool deal. And Mike, you're going to be with us. You're going to be with us down at Gadsden, Alabama in a couple weeks. We're going to be back in person for the first time, man, in a couple of years. Looking forward to that. So go over to thebashuniversity.com and get yourself some tickets for there or Anderson, South Carolina.
January 15th.
January 15th.
That's right. We're going to be.
blink of an eye.
So I am beyond excited for your topic down there, Mike. Well, both your topics, but the one I'm so stoked to hear about is ripping grass. We did a little social media post last week, and it was kind of a retrofit picture. I'll cue it up for you because I actually never did a follow-up post to announce or to say what lake it was that you were on. But this was a win for you back in the mid 2000s where you caught some key fish on a bit down French fry. You had a ripping grass deal going on in that lake too, but you caught some key fish at the end of the tournament on a French fry. What lake was that on back in the mid 2000s?
You want me to go ahead and answer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It was Lake Gunnersville, and it was during a spring tournament there. So there were fish coming and going, some spawning. Give you a little background on the event. The first day of the tournament, I weighed in 17 3/4, a little less than 18 pounds. I caught every single fish off a bed, sight fishing. Second day, it was cloudy and rainy. I never went to the bank. I stayed offshore and ripped grass all day.
Okay.
The third day, cloudy. I stayed offshore, ripped grass all day. And then the last day, the clouds went away. It got bluebird and high pressure. And I was only able to catch 2 or 3 ripping grass, 2 good ones and 1 maybe keeper. That bite totally stopped. I had the wherewithal to go back up on the bank. And the craziest thing is the areas where I saw them spawning, 3 days later, they were off the beds, but the males were guarding fry. And the only way I could catch them was with a French fry. In some cases, a French fry bit down. But the ripping grass was 100% key to that win. And the 2 days that I had the 20-pound mark were all those fish were ripping grass. So I'm very excited to be talking about this seminar. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. Everybody learns a lot.
What place were you in after day one, Mike?
I was middle. I would say slightly above middle of the pack after day one. Day ones on the elites are always strong. Day 2 and 3.
Well, and again, a sight fishing bite too. It's not your wheelhouse necessarily.
Yeah. And day 2 and 3, when it got cloudy and rainy, the shallow guys really struggled. Right.
Yep.
And me staying deep was really key. So I moved up to like the top 10 on the second day.
Yep.
I moved the lead on the third day.
Let's go.
And I mean, all the way up to the end, in the last hour of the tournament, I had really let it slip past me. And Alton Jones had the lead. And just in the last hour, I was able to catch a couple key fish, especially that last one that came. I would say five minutes left before I had to run back to the ramp.
Are you kidding?
No, I've caught a 3.5 pounder. And I saw him. He was guarding fry. And I actually, the funny thing is I had him hooked and he came off.
Oh.
And I saw the tournament just go past me. And I threw back. I couldn't believe it. He came back and ate it, and I caught him and landed it, rushed back to the weigh-in, and I won by about a pound. So, key fish.
What when you were ripping grass in that deal, what was your crankbait when you were throwing it back then?
Yeah, so my deal has always been I like to alternate between different vibrations when I'm ripping grass. So, good analogy would be like when you go. Let's say you're, fishing a soft plastic bait. A lot of times you'll have different baits, right? You'll have a soft stick, you have a creature,
black,
you have
and
two,
then
right?
Black Senko, right?
You want to give them different looks. So I do that a lot in my grass ripping. And 2 of the key baits for me for a lot of years, and I'm being honest, you won't hear a lot of guys tell you this because it's outside of their sponsorship, but the Rapala and a Strike King, those 2 over the years, working with them in unison, hand in hand. DT series, tighter vibration, more quiet, more subtle. Strike King series 5, 5XD.
Wider wobble,
more noisy, rattles, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I those 2 in combination a lot over the years, along with some other ones, but you know, I'm a big believer in showing them different crankbait vibrations and styles. And, you know, the DT for sure, though, is at the top of the list. The Strike King is a pretty good one, too.
You guys got to check this out, because as many times as I've tried to duplicate your technique, Mike, it is unique. It is very, very hard to do. And I'm rooming with me, showing me how to do it. I'm looking forward to your seminar and how you're going to teach people how to do this.
All right, Pete.
Because I don't think you worked hard enough at teaching me how to do it.
Yeah. So here's the question: which would happen first? You learning how to rip grass, or Mike dead sticking a Senko? No, I'm serious. Like, Mike cannot stand still for a freaking second. His power poles don't sit at the bottom and they come back up.
Dude, I saw him bite a centipede in half so he could make his bait quieter and smaller.
Yeah, and then probably worked it like a Zara spook.
He did do it.
Buzzed it up.
He's new. And I also saw him win the classic on that technique too.
Well, there you go. So Mike wins again.
Well, hey, we got a really big bait we're giving away, BTC.
We do. Yeah, we got two things.
And Mike, are you in the running to win this bait? Can you win this bait?
No.
I don't know.
You know, I'm going to forfeit it whether I am or not, because I know the bait that we're giving away, and I can tell you firsthand, it's a unbelievable bait. It's a bait that has drawing power. It's a bait that will catch the biggest fish of your life. You will catch on this bait. And I'm taking myself out of the running because I have a few. I want somebody else to experience it.
And it's the Dump by Black Talon Custom Baits. What are we? Do you have a trivia question, BTC?
That is correct, Peter.
We do. Is it from the brain of KD?
It is from the brain of Ken Duke.
Okay.
All right. What do we got?
How you want to go? Easy, medium, or difficult? Yo, Vegas.
Yo, Vega.
What's up, boss?
Vegas, you want to?
Yeah,
tell everybody what you've been up.
I'm just building rocket ships.
Building rocket ships. Vegas has been building rocket ships the last few weeks.
Right on, bro. That's solid work, man. That's good work.
NASA.
All right, here we go. You ready for this?
Yeah, go ahead. Spit it out there, B, and show me the answer, and then we'll be giving this thing away. And guys, just so you know, it is not too late. Sign up right now, 60 days for free, and you can get a chance to win this Black Talon Custom Lures Donk. I'm going to rattle off just a couple little bit more things to give you guys time to sign up.
For free.
Yeah, for free. It's a great time. And also, if you want to sign up annually, commit yourself to learning about the program for a full year. You can sign up for $119.99. Get yourself a Bass U official hat and a face shield. So, guys, there's never been a better time to sign up for the Bass University. And you can win a Black Talon Custom Lures Donk.
And right, and not to mention the benefits of being a member, the things that you learn, the discounts that you get in the industry through being a member, more than pay for themselves.
You know what my favorite thing is like when we're on the road, or we're going to events, or going to the classic, sitting in the airport or whatever, and we run into other fishermen that are that are Bass University members, and like they know us, and it's like we have that just like instant connection with them, like a guy that I've never met before, never talked to before. We get to talking about Bass University and what our favorite seminars are, all that. It really is like a family feel. So, come on, join the program. Let's catch more big fish.
Hey, get your shit together. All right.
All right.
Go ahead. Let's fire it off there, B.
All right, here we go. We're going with the moderate question because I want somebody to win. Who was the San Diego biologist, fish and wildlife superintendent who was responsible for the introduction of Florida strain bass into California?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's the easy one. Or
Spit that out one more time, B.
Who was the San Diego biologist and fish and wildlife superintendent who was responsible for the introduction of Florida strain bass into California?
Byron Velvet.
Schmyron. He was a scientist. Dropped his fluid like a chemist.
Yeah. Can you Google that?
Probably.
Yep. Probably. And I got to be honest, this is a good question because the last couple have been like 1 second answers.
Ooh, talking trash on Ken Duke.
No, just it's the strength of our audience, man. They're on top of it.
That's not how I took it.
Oh yeah,
I'm kidding.
that's how you are. Yeah,
You are correct.
use your aggression about getting our access rights granted.
You don't want
BTC.
that. You don't want that.
There's a lot of guesses coming in here, and like a lot of them sound like so legit. Like I don't
Like
know if
actual
people,
scientists?
yeah, are they just like making up names,
Yeah,
combining stuff?
that's good.
I love Juice Newton on the IM board says, if you vote blue, we send in Lou.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's great.
That is good stuff.
I want to have.
Oh, we got a winner.
We got a winner.
Good.
Holy smokes, Paulie B, Orville Ball.
Orville P. Ball Jr.
Orville Ball. Well, I gave it to him.
That's good. Yeah.
He gave me Orville Ball. I'm just gonna double check. Paulie B, I got you as the winner right now. Let me just double check to make sure that we didn't have one come through before.
What did he win?
He won.
Show
the
show
donk.
that beautiful bait. I know you showed it earlier. BTC.
Yeah, he won. Paulie B, man, good work. Good
showing
work.
Orville P. Ball Jr. bought the Florida fingerlings with his own money and introduced them into the Upper Otay Reservoir in 1959. A year later, some of those fish were transplanted into other county reservoirs. Today, most of the biggest bass ever caught in the history of the universe came from California waters as a result of Orville's Ball's efforts.
Paulie B, Paul Batters, congratulations.
Paul
You won your
Batters.
yeah.
Oh, he's local.
Yeah, he's local. He's a flats guy. So if Paul, if you weigh in 5 for 35 this summer,
Paul, you're busted.
On something, we're gonna know what's going on out there, kid.
Come on, we're trying to ship this to California, Paul.
Yeah.
We ain't trying to compete against it.
The second best guess of Riz's missing coal tags chimed in and said the guy who brought him was Pete Glusak, but it was not. It was Pete was still sailing down the Delaware River.
That's right.
In a ship at that point.
That's right.
Thank you, Ken Duke. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate you very much, and congratulations. What a great win. What a great lure, and thank you, Keith, for donating that lure to us.
Black Talon Custom Lures, guys. Check them out. Try to get yourself one. Good luck, though.
Good. Hey, congratulations to Paul.
Yeah.
Way to go, bro.
Seriously.
Good work.
Dude,
and shout out to
Epic Eric?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Guy
Well,
sent us the glide baits.
Yeah, well, we got to get into them.
Yeah.
I was going to do it when Mike was here and Pete, but Pete stayed home and all this other stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm going to dive into mine now because
Go ahead.
I've never had a glide bait before, and I'm kind of excited about it.
Look at him go.
Clutch Swim Bait Co.
Yeah.
I think it's a guy local to JK down there in Georgia.
Is he?
Yeah, he hooked us up with some glide baits, and the hooks are really sharp. It's actually catching everything right now in the box. Here we go. We're going to get a hook in our hand here. But yeah, it's Clutch Swim Bait Co. Dude, looks freaking legit. I'm a guy that I've never caught one on a glide bait before, so I'm excited to try this thing out, and hopefully catch some fish on it. Good looking bait. And
it is. I threw
beauty
it.
about his is that they're accessible. And Bri, you've tried them out a little bit, so I'll let you speak to it.
Yeah, I took it out last week and threw it around. It has a very nice swim to it. Dude, it's legit. It's going to work. It's absolutely going to catch them.
I'm into it.
I gave one to Valdez to throw around because I know Johnny fishes 7 days a week, and that's just during the work week. Weekends don't count. But, yeah, Johnny threw it around, and he likes it, too, and he's been throwing a lot of glide baits for several years. So it's a good bait, man.
Oh, I can't wait to get my hands on them. I don't know that I ever will.
Probably not.
In Brian's hands right now.
Craig?
Yeah.
Craig.
Well, hey man, it was great. It was a great show, man. I really want to thank Gene Gilliland and Lou Martinez for hanging out with us tonight.
Right?
Yep,
Martinez.
Martinez.
Yeah.
Martinez.
They were fantastic.
Yes.
Big shout out to you, Craig, for
thank you
for seeing what was going on and grabbing it and going, and I don't know, we don't know Lou, none of us know Lou. If it wasn't for you, getting after it. So thank you, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think it's great that you guys are highlighting it, and Lou's a unique character, and as soon as I talked to him, I knew we could learn something. You know what I mean? We could put it together. And
I mean, he didn't even get into it tonight, but like he was just kind of saying, one of the things that continues to ring true, he was involved 20 years ago with they were trying to make bow hunting here in New Jersey illegal, and Lou was at the forefront of that. And I don't think he took enough credit for what he did for that. It probably might not be bow hunting in Jersey right now.
Yeah,
he
got bow hunting legal on Sundays.
Okay,
So that was him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And damn, I lost my thought.
Sorry, that was good.
Son of a
hit you with a Lou arrow right there.
Oh, it's gone just like that. I feel old.
Well-
Hold on, I'll be back.
Well, he was great. And CD, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. And I want to keep doing this. We want to keep bringing attention to causes that are important to us as anglers. And I appreciate you making the trip down and being in the studio tonight. Wish I could be there with you.
Yeah, man.
And, thank you for that. And, want to wish you a happy new year, and want to wish everybody a happy new year. And it's a new year, new you at Bass University TV. Get yourself subscribed. If you haven't done it yet, come on, man, get over there, join us. We got so much amazing content that's going to help you become a better angler, including Mike's ripping technique that is elusive. I'm telling you, I can't wait to hear a seminar on how he tries to articulate that, because it's such a difficult thing that he does.
Leadham pops in every time he hears his name.
Yeah, I tried to duplicate it. I want to hear the seminar. I want to hear it, Mike. I can't wait for it.
Did that just happen?
Yeah,
Is
it
that
just
live?
happened. That just happened.
That was solid, Mike. On cue.
That's horrible.
Yeah. Pull that clip.
Pull that clip. No, strike that clip.
Cheers,
Hey,
buddy. But hey, Pete.
Thanks, everybody. BTC, Riz, thank you.
Pete.
Happy New Year's, guys.
Happy New
New
Year's.
Year's. Happy holidays.
Yeah, same to you, Mike.
Yep.
Hey, Pete,
Bye, Vegas.
before you close us out, I remembered my
Bye,
thought
guys.
that I forgot a minute ago. It was just about like doing things that give back and they continue to ring true, like the bow hunting. Bow hunters provide a lot of meat to the
Hunters helping hungry.
Yes, the homeless, and that's always there for when pushback comes to them. So it's one of the things like we didn't really get into, but we've got to do a little give back here in the fishing community. We've got to organize some things and have some kids events, work with the Ike Foundation, show up at Howell Lake with a bunch of kids and tell them to keep the gate shut now.
Yeah.
With the channel news, with the helicopters flying above from the news.
Yeah.
Howell Lake hates children.
Gonna put you on the news.
Put you on the news.
That's right. All right, you're right. Let's close down.
Hey, thanks so much. Give back. It's a great message, though, and that's a great thing to do in the new year is find a way to give back. And we appreciate all you guys. Thanks for being part of Bass U. Thanks everybody for being here tonight. Thank you, Ike. And thanks
to
everybody
Justin
else.
Kimmel
We'll
for
catch up with you guys.
Yeah.
In 2022.
Yes.
On Tuesday night.
Good night, Peter.
Right. All right. Good night. I thought you were chiming in there, BTC. I missed it, but good night, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful new year. We'll see you next week, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Bass University Live.
When you throw a buzzbait, they say, did you just throw it out and reel it in? That'd be negative. Now, I'm not saying like Ike without his medicine. I'm just saying you reel it in with a little action. So if I cast a buzzbait and I'm coming up to a tree and my buzzbait gets even with it, I'm holding my rod tip in a position of about 10 or 11. Never, ever, 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 ever point your rod tip at your buzzbait. You don't point a loaded gun at people, and you don't point your damn buzzbait rod at the buzzbait, because you leave yourself no room for error. And your line will touch the water, and your bait won't run. It's true. Rod always should be around 10 to 11 o'clock, right here. You want your line to be just a little sloped down, reeling your buzzbait. Not just burning it tight, not pointing to it, just slowly reeling. When I come up on a tree, a simple turn of the handle. I'm reeling that buzzbait, and if I get to a tree, I honk that handle, don't, and that bait will go, you'll see it jump, just a little bit of frequency. If you just only knew what what Johnny used to call that bucking the horse. He'd be watching me throw a buzzbait and he'd get to a bush and he'd go, buck that horse, buck that horse. You want it just to jump, just You're just trying to make it different. How many times you ever threw a buzzbait and you're reeling around a bush or something and it hits the limb, and as soon as it hits the limb, they blow up on it and you miss them. You're like, God, he hit it right as it hit the limb. It's because it changed. It changed. So what you're trying to do is change that cast. Every time I get near a target, click, 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 then I start reeling it again, all the way in. I may click it 3 or 4 times during one cast. I'm just trying to trigger that extra strike. I'm trying to bring a fish up out of a bush somewhere deeper. I mean, rod positioning on that controls how that works. If you see someone pointing their bait, I mean, I can remember the day, because we used to fish the invitationals, and you would draw somebody and you were boater on boater. If you were throwing a buzzbait and he picked us up and pointed it straight at this buzzbait, you were like, I love this guy, because he's fixing to locate some bass for me, because he's not going to catch many of them on that. You just didn't have any room for error. You hear people all the time say, man, I felt him when he blew up on it. Where was your rod tip at? If you have your rod tip here and you're reeling it, and the fish were to blow up on the bait and make that whoosh, I can stop. I literally, if I'm reeling, I just pause. I'm looking at that bait to see where it goes. Then I can set the hook, then I can pull. If I'm pointing straight at him, I have nowhere to go but up to set the hook. There's no room for error. This is that little old tricky part. When you throw a buzzbait, they say, did you just throw it out and reel it in? That'd be negative. Now, I'm not saying like Ike without his medicine. I'm just saying you reel it in with a little action. So if I cast a buzzbait and I'm coming up to a tree and my buzzbait gets even with it, I'm holding my rod tip in a position of about 10 or 11. Never, ever, 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 ever point your rod tip at your buzzbait. You don't point a loaded gun at people, and you don't point your damn buzzbait rod at the buzzbait, because you leave yourself no room for error. And your line will touch the water and your bait won't run. It's true. Rod always should be around 10 to 11 o'clock, right here. You want your line to be just a little sloped down, reeling your buzzbait. Not just burning it tight, not pointing to it, just slowly reeling. When I come up on a tree, a simple turn of the handle. I'm reeling that buzzbait, and if I get to a tree, I honk that handle, don't, and that bait will go, you'll see it jump, just a little bit of frequency. If you just only knew what what Johnny
and
listen in.
Hey everybody, welcome to Bass University Live here on Tuesday night. Take a quick break, watch John Cruz's on the Tokyo rig.